So no matter what I do, it's gonna look, unless it's in the center of the screen, it's gonna look small.
I just mean you don't have like a lot of weight to you, so it seems like there'd be at least be some amount of people who could overpower you. I mean, I understand like a 340-pound fucking pure muscle guy Mike makes right. It would be very easy take to have.
I used to think that if you have a wife that is hitting you, she should expect to get hit back. But I don't think that anymore.
Oh, I see.
And the reason is because might doesn't make right. Like if you are a really big guy, or if you're a man and you're more strong than women, I think you have a responsibility not to retaliate with your full fucking force. Like it's okay if a man restrains a woman because she's being violent.
Mhm.
That's perfectly fine. I don't even give a shit if like she has like a bruise on her wrist because like he had to grab her wrist. Like that's not the same as just fucking beating the shit out of her. Like if you have to like pin someone down because they're being violent, if you're a big guy, don't fucking go all out and just wreck them. And if you have like a big fucking stream and someone's, talking shit about you, don't fucking destroy their whole reputation and their whole career or whatever. You don't, it's just like, so like you fuck with the United States and then they nuke you.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, that's a little bit different. So, United States retaliating is to make sure that nobody else does, because it's not like it's a solo entity. Like
We don't
they're
we don't nu- we don't nuke people.
well, we did once,
Yeah, we
twice.
decided never again.
Yeah. Well, there's still the threat of it, and I think that's all it took is that it had to happen one time, and now people know. Like, no, they actually might.
Can you turn your camera on?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that my camera wasn't on. Let me see. There you go.
All right, cool. Um,
Studio. Oh, me make that less awful.
so you watched my video.
Yeah, I really liked it.
So there's mixed results or mixed reviews. And a lot of people are saying that I am I am irresponsibly I'm speaking irresponsibly, or I'm negligent to the point of lying about Destiny because I didn't include his side of the story at like any time. But like the point is like, so if you retaliate against somebody,
Mhm.
but you had a really good fucking reason because they did something first, it doesn't justify the retaliation.
I think
And
it depends, but the things that you brought up are good things to talk about when like it depends on these things. How much stronger are you? Like like I don't think it's ever okay to retaliate against like an infant by striking them back if they hit you. That would be insane, right?
yeah, but we don't want to infantilize women, do we?
Well, I was just giving the most extreme example I could think of as like an adult human versus a baby.
Right. But
So we could work
when you
backwards.
do that example, what you do is you're saying that anybody that you would show restraint to, you're treating like a child. And so the conclusion from that, from the people that would argue might Rake's right, is, well, and if someone isn't a child, then if you hold back, then you are treating them like a child.
Yeah, that's my
I,
fault. I
I
wasn't thinking about the context when I said it. I was literally just going with the most extreme example of like when you would not. I think there's a
right.
plenty of. I think there's like a lot of room in between, like the most acceptable and least acceptable though. Yeah, that was my bad. That was probably not good considering the context.
No, it was good because it brought that, because that's a good thing to bring up.
Yeah,
Because
I
that's the counter argument, is the infantilization. You're not allowed to infantilize everybody because you're not allowed to infantilize everybody. You have to treat them with your full force, no matter what. You retaliate full force. You fuck with me, you're going down, buddy. That's the attitude everybody has.
um. Have you ever hit a woman before?
No, actually, yeah. Um, I was like a little kid, but it's we had a strobe light going and we were like dancing and I was doing like kung fu moves to dance. But because of the strobe light, it makes it your depth perception really difficult because if you're like moving your fist forward, you like the frames of vision that you have, like suddenly your fists are way more forward. So I just like fucking clocked her in the head and I was like, holy shit, I did not mean to do that. Must have been like, 11 years old.
I wouldn't count that. That seemed like a mistake. I did once. Some girl jumped on my back when I was like 14 or 15 while I was sleeping at my friend's house, and I have back problems, and it hurt so bad that like I woke up with just like tears falling out of my face, and I hit her in the back, not as hard as I could, but like it was like, hey, it is not okay to do that. But it's not like I got up and like beat her ass.
I don't think it's justified.
Um, it might not have been. It was very much like an immediate response to somebody harming me.
Right.
But I
It's
don't think,
understandable.
yeah, let's say I don't think I would like choose to do that again. But I don't feel super bad about it. I feel a little bit bad
Right.
about it.
It's well, it's understandable. Like people have these moments, and we all retaliate like that. It's at one point or another. I mean, we don't all hit women, and but we all like we can all be petty, and we can all have we all have these moments. But I think when you have a certain level of power, eventually, like as your power rises, so doesn't your responsibility. Like if you said that story and you were literally Arnold Schwarzenegger, suddenly like it's incredibly in the wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And not only that too, I don't think he would have been nearly as harmed as me by her jumping on his back either. He probably would have got itchy.
Yeah. Have you seen that video? Someone like it was like 5 years ago. It was recent. It was old Arnold. Some event, and some random guy drop kicks him like flying across like a gymnasium like sideways, and he just like bounces off of him, just looks at him.
Yo, what a cool moment for Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Old Arnold too. Like
Where he looks more like the gritty movie guy and not the senator.
Yeah. No, no, I mean like no, like yeah,
Oh, old
Senator Arnold.
man.
This is
Oh, Senator
old man
Arnold.
Arnold. Yeah.
Uh yeah, I don't think it would have been right for him to like attack that guy in response. That
Right.
would have just been like a
Like
horrifying
the guy
nightmare to
falls on the
see.
ground. If that guy falls on the ground and Arnold just kicks him. Like there's a difference between retaliation and self-defense. Like so the guy drop kicks you and then he falls on the ground and then you fucking kick him. And then oh, you deserved it and you go about your day. I'm sure people let you get away with it
Mm.
if you do that, but that doesn't make it right. But like say that the guy is going for the drop kick and you intercept him and you like intercept him and drop him on the ground and he hurts himself like you hurt him, like that's self-defense. Or you like put your foot out so that he like his head, because he's literally trying to drop kick you, his like head hits your foot. So
Oh
you're
my
defending
god.
yourself. You're defending like a dog jumps at you, you put your knee up because
Yeah.
like then like there it'll be in the way of their head. That's self-defense. But like
I agree. That
don't.
happened to me before. My mom, she grabbed a window, like a window stopper stick. She went to go hit me with it when I was like 15, and I extended my foot out so she couldn't reach me with it. She didn't like beat me or anything, but so like this was new. So I just like put that barricade up, and she's stupid, so she ran right into my foot that had been extended for like a full 2 seconds. And then she said, I could call the cops on you for hitting me. I was like, I didn't hit you. You ran into my fucking foot. Um,
Yeah.
and then I think I might have said, but if you call the cops and say that I hit you, then I'll probably hit you because I'm not going to go to jail for something I didn't do.
Oh my god. Well, there you go, retaliation.
That I consider self defense. That was you threatened me to tell the cops I did it. Well, they'll believe you, so I'll at least make it true.
That's retaliation. That's not self-defense. There's no benefit there.
She didn't call the cops on me for the thing I didn't do.
Sure.
So I would say I successfully defended myself. But I don't think that these things are the same as what
That's a
had happened here.
you defended yourself by, I don't think that's good though. You defended yourself by threatening her. Like look, I'm not saying like we all have times like that, like especially in our personal lives.
Yeah.
But when it gets involved, if you have like a massive platform, or like you're a really buff guy, or like any of these types of things, and it's always just it's always there between men and women because men are stronger. Someone in my chat said, "Wow, I thought you were progressive. If a woman feels the need to start hitting a man, then you're sexist if you don't think she should be getting equal back." Okay, I think that, well, first of all, I think that you can defend yourself, and also equal back smuggles in some fantastical bullshit, false reality where men and women are equally as strong. But that's not the reality we live in. So equal back means not fighting back with your full force.
Yeah, I this is actually a conversation I've had a lot with my wife cuz she works with dogs and sometimes they fight each other and I was really interested in how they escalate the force that they use on the dogs cuz they're under their care. And when they're fighting it's I thought that there would be a smaller escalation, but apparently if it gets too violent they will sometimes have to actually like hurt the dogs from attacking each other and I was kind of shook by that. But then the more we got in depth with it, I kind of understood that there's at a certain point where you have to be like, you have to stop this right now, um, because you're all under my care. I would have thought the minimal amount possible, and I guess that's how it starts. But it can escalate much quicker, because some of these
So
situations are life and death for some of these
so
dogs.
so you're saying like one dog starts it and then it gets worse because the other dog like does something back and then they turns into a cycle.
So what it is that it's we're always defending the dog that has the most potential for harm, and it's going to always be based on like size in this instance.
Hmm.
So if there's like an 80-pound dog going after a 40-pound dog, it doesn't matter if the 40-pound dog nipped first. This is completely
Yeah.
irrelevant.
Well,
We're gonna
it's not
try to
irrelevant,
restrain the 80-pound dog, but if he's still going, there's no problem tackling him to the ground. We're not gonna tackle the
right?
40-pound dog.
It's relevant in the context of trying to train the dog not to start fights. Like the small dog is starting fights, you train that dog not to start fights. But when you have to deal with like the actual fight, then you have to deal with the big dog.
Yes.
You're not like when you're dealing with the fight, you have. So like it's the buck always ends on whoever's bigger. It's
Yeah.
like you don't just go, oh, little dog, should have known better. No, fuck.
Yeah, because this little dog can do. I mean, can he hurt the big dog? Sure, but the difference between being able to hurt it and being able to maul it to death are just crazy different.
Yeah.
And that
So
gave me
you
a lot
watched
to
my
think
video?
about. Yeah. There, the only complaint that I had watching the whole thing is that sometimes the music was so good that I had to rewind because I wasn't listening to you. Uh,
Elk and Connor.
oh shit! I've listened to some of Elk's music on my stream. He's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's Connor? Have
It's my
I?
friend of mine.
Oh, okay. Um,
Link is in the description.
yeah, that was all really good, and just overall, your audio is insane. There's a part where you're by the fountain, and I could hear every drop of water, and I just wanted to stop reviewing it for a minute and call you and go, "What audio equipment are you using?" Because this is like some of the best
This is
audio I've ever
this
heard.
microphone is a lot better than the microphone I'm using here. It's a shotgun mic for a Sony ZV-E10 4K,
Oh
and
God, that's an
this
expensive
shotgun
camera.
yeah, this shotgun mic was like $100, but it's like really good. Um, yeah, I tried to re-record some things using this. There's one part that I use this, and it just sounds like shit compared to this thing. Um, it makes me wonder, like people that buy all these streaming cameras, I mean, streaming microphones, where they're like, oh, they spend like hundreds of dollars. Just get like this camera and get this. If you like, I don't know if you need this fucking camera, but this is $100. This is only $100. It's like less money than a lot of the shit people spend on, and you could have it out of frame, pointed at you because it's a shotgun mic. But people complained about the audio. but they're gonna complain about everything.
Who complained
I
about
spent
the
a
audio?
there's an early part where the audio is honestly sounds like shit. Um,
Oh,
but some parts are better. The fountain was loud. And the audio editing was a lot of work. The library, I had to learn some tricks. I couldn't just edit it in Adobe because the audio editing stuff in Adobe Premiere sucks. So I had to like take it into Audacity and do because you can't. There's tools that don't exist in Adobe that are in Audacity.
I
What
actually
what should
wondered how much time you
what
had
should
spent on
happen?
it.
Quite a lot on the audio. What should happen to a woman that falsely accuses a male adult sleeping with an underage girl? What should happen to a woman? She should go to jail. What do you think? She should get hit?
We need a
No,
more direct
dummy.
punishment. You got to make her sleep with that under. I'm just kidding.
No, she should go to jail.
Yeah, she should go to
Like you
jail.
don't like you the. It's not my job or your job or Elder Drazi's job to be a vigilante. Um, and when you personally want to be a vigilante on your own behalf, that's literally what the police are here to protect us from. When somebody is impassioned because they've been wronged and they're now going to do something back to someone else, that is like we don't. No, that's okay. No, it's not okay. That's why we have cops. If you are in that situation, you have to go to cops. Sometimes the cops don't work and it sucks, and that's shitty. We need to make like it better. There are certain cyber crimes like DDoSing, which is hard to fight back against. And like Destiny said, like people wouldn't take him seriously because they're streaming and they didn't even understand. That's a problem. But that doesn't justify killing somebody.
Yeah.
It means like and it's it's just because we live in a society like it, you don't go back to caveman rules all of a sudden.
People want retributive justice so bad, and it terrifies me. Before I used to stream, I used to just debate like ethics with people in a Discord called the Intellectualist, because that's where the first place I found where people were actually debating. And it seemed like everybody, I used to give a hypothetical. If there was a mass shooter in a mall and they ran out of bullets and they have no more guns, um, and you have a gun, but you could also just hold them, would you be okay until the cops got there? Would you be okay to shoot them? And almost everybody I talked to said, yeah, it's totally fine to shoot them. Like, but they can't shoot anybody anymore. And they said, yeah, but they killed a ton of people. You're totally within your right to kill them. And I'm like, no, the threat has stopped. Um, they cannot kill anybody anymore. You can't just kill this person. It's up for the law to decide what to do with them. It's not up to me just because I have a gun.
Yeah.
And it I never thought that it was going to be a question I would ask so many people, because I thought it seemed super obvious that you don't kill somebody who can't harm anybody, no matter what.
Right. But I think in the context of the criticisms people are having of the video I made, it's really the criticisms that people are having are not of me. They're of Max. I just read the fucking article. They're like and they wish that I provided extra context the article did. First of all, most of these people did not even address this because when they went over the article, they only talked about Max. They didn't actually talk about anything in it. So I've gotten past that barrier for these people. So now they're actually talking about what's in the article as far as I'm going over it with parts that I read. And now they're saying, oh, well, that's all bullshit and it's a lie because you're not giving the reasons why Destiny was doing those things. Like, because, Anna's a crazy, like, obsessive stalker or whatever, and she can't, you know, stop talking about it. Or, Lav is like saying crazy shit. They deserve it. Um, and I brought up to I forget who I was talking to, but recently I brought up how Max, when Cherry was accusing him of like showing his pubes and stuff, the way he handled that was like it made everybody else in the whole corner of the internet look like a toddler because he looked like such an adult.
Uh,
Some
he
some
showed a
rare
strength most
maturity.
people don't have, which was
Yeah.
to listen and try to hear the other person out. and not even attempt to point a finger. If anything, he shielded her from criticism. Yeah, I thought that was probably one of his best moments in streaming, as far as setting an example of how people ought to behave, if not the best.
I think that the example that he set, you say it's a strength that people don't have, but when you have a lot of power, once you get a big platform, now it's a strength you need to have. Like if you're like now you're Lex Friedman and you behave like this and you're retaliatory and you like drag people, if people don't think that you look like shit for doing that and they think that you're justified, there's something really wrong with society. Because if Lex Friedman started doing that shit, we would all like his fans would be like, dude, this is not it. Like this isn't cool. But for some reason, if you make your brand about the abuse like Trump, like Destiny, if you make your brand about retaliation, about this kind of behavior, then it like shields you. And
Yeah, I think that there's the thing that everybody knows that they ignore when they're doing this, when they're like defending Destiny's actions, is that they wouldn't apply the same rules that they're giving for Destiny to everybody. They wouldn't allow everybody to behave the way that Destiny had towards Anna.
I think they would.
I think it's because they like him. Um, so when I gave an alternative take that everybody else seemed to disagree with about why Anna talked to Mr. Girl and then immediately afterwards uh changed the reasons why she talked and how she felt about it, which I thought once it became public, of course she's going to recede back because she's afraid of Destiny. At the very least, this would be what I would expect to happen. That you're going to be open, and then once it's public, you're going to be freaked the fuck out because you don't want anything bad to happen to you, and then things are going to change a bit out of self-preservation. And everybody that I talked to, it was on a Stardust stream, said that this is like I'm like doing mental gymnastics to come up with this, and I'm like, why? This is crazy. How would you not expect exactly that to happen if the things that she said that happened between her and Destiny are true, in the way that her treatment was from him? It would be crazy to expect anything else to happen.
Right.
And so it seems like people can humanize and sympathize with somebody and say, okay, these rules will apply because I am sympathetic towards this person, but when I'm not, I will take these rules away. And they can only behave in the way that I want them to behave. Otherwise, they're doing something bad. It goes past charity. It's like they create special rules depending on how much they like a person.
Might makes right.
Yeah, in this case, might being the size or the amount of people that you have supporting you.
Yeah.
Um, I think one of the things that you did that was really, really good with this video is that you didn't come at it just shitting on Destiny.
I didn't, and everybody's saying that I did, but I really tried to be like there was like a couple like I said that I think Max is in the wrong for saying that Destiny like choked out his wife because I think that he was doing literally the same thing that Max was doing when he said he hit his ex-wife. Like like it's literally like a anecdote to brought to an extreme to tell a story, and I don't see why you wouldn't believe Destiny about that. Like and um like Max was in the wrong. He kept telling Lav that he could change destiny or something, and she part of her keep throwing herself back on the fire was his fault. And also one thing that I think Max did that that is the most sad thing is he told Anna and Lav like like so many times, or I don't know how many times, but he was telling them that a lot of orbiters would stand up for them, and that didn't happen. And I don't like if it did happen, he would have been in the right, but because it didn't happen, it's really really sad. Like it's like like it's a gamble he took by saying that, and it lost.
I think even if they did, he would have been in the wrong. All he could really say is that um, people have told me that they'll stand by you. That's not a promise you can make. You can't
No,
promise something for other people. Um, this is something I'm very aware of when people tell me things. If it's about somebody else or something that someone else is gonna do, I say like, well, you can't promise me that. And if it's emotional, I think that it's wrong to promise an action for somebody else because it's not something that can be believed. And if you convince somebody to believe it, I think that's manipulation, outright. Even if you don't mean to, it has to be because you can't promise that.
Yeah,
Um, so I do agree with you. I also don't agree with him saying that he can protect them because what does that
right. He
even
couldn't.
mean?
He couldn't.
Yeah, there's
He
nobody can
wanted to,
protect
but
you.
yeah,
All you can do is help somebody after the fact. There's no real protection almost ever in life from anything. You can just do something about it after it happens, but the damage is already done. You can potentially stop it from getting worse, broadly speaking. But in this instance, when we're talking about online, it seems like when you try to come to somebody's aid, you're generally going to make it worse before it gets better if it gets better.
well, I think he was trying to like my okay. The way he could protect them. I don't know what he's trying to do. The way he could protect them, which didn't seem to work, was drawing the attention to himself rather than them, which he tried to do, but that clearly didn't fucking work. And especially with Lav, the Destiny report seemed to make the DGG really supportive of Anna, which is cool, I guess.
How much do you think that had to do with Destiny's reframing of things when he found out that Mr. Girl was doing the report, though? If you make Anna
Hundred
look like a
percent,
victim
hundred
of
percent,
Mr. Girl,
hundred
yeah.
percent, 100%. But I mean, silver lining, it's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do think he did a good job. And I even argued that he did do a good job of shielding Anna from the criticisms by putting it on himself. But again, that wasn't something he could have promised. And uh I know it didn't work for Lav, but I don't know how much of that is of her being combative about the whole thing either, making it worse. But still, he could not have promised it.
Yeah,
And I think in order to have that sort of protection, you actually have to want it. And I think Anna did a good job of just like stepping back and like hiding under the covers during the whole thing.
yeah.
Um,
People people were saying that like me making a video about the Destiny report um is like me doing harm to like Anna. And the only way I can see that making sense, I can see way that would happen, is if my video emboldened her to stand up for herself again, it would start the cycle all over. She should not stand up for herself, because might makes right, and that's the world that this is environment is happening in. So if I emboldened her to stand up for herself again, the looping would have started occurring, and the danger is making people start attacking her again. You know,
I don't think that anybody actually thought that you were doing harm to Anna by doing it because when everything happened between her and Destiny, nobody gave a fuck about harm to Anna. And now that it's also harming Destiny, now we're concerned about harm done to Anna. This seems like a load of shit to me. What they're really
good
saying
point.
is, you're gonna cause harm to Destiny, but if I say that, that'll only help prove your point. So I'm gonna say that you're hurting Anna because people like me are gonna go after Anna if she talks about it.
Yeah, it's a threat. Yes,
Yes,
it's a threat.
um, and I
Not
won't.
everybody's saying that though. Not everybody's saying that. It's just like some people. I mean, it's not all of DGG saying that. I don't think. Like so
They're also making
there.
an excuse for the people who are threatening when they do it. They're
Yeah,
not
but I don't know
condemning the
if
people that are going to attack her. They're just condemning you.
I don't know how. Um, it seems like I would hope it's an empty threat. I'm trying.
It
I
seems like it
I
has
try.
been.
I try to be charitable and like I don't know. I don't feel like I'm getting like I don't feel like I'm getting like harassed or anything like that. I've got comments, people disagreeing on my YouTube video, but
How has the overall feedback been?
pretty mixed. Um, a lot of people like it's really interesting the feedback about the like the artistic um and craftsmanship part of it
Mhm.
is like there's people that like it. And then there's people that are like, "Everything about it sucked, I hate it." And, I think they're just, "Oh, this took you 3 months?" Well, I mean, like, the people that are like, "Oh, this took you 3 months? Oh, man, you really suck." Those it's obvious to me, like, if they actually think that, then they've never done anything ever, and, ever, like, they haven't done anything.
That's the same people that and I don't, but it's the same people that like watch like professional sports, like professional wrestling, and criticize the person that they're watching. Like they're much better at this than you are. Like what? Like this seems like a very odd criticism to make. Uh, I used to when I was a kid, I'd go to
It's
baseball games and people would yell at the pitcher like, "You fucking suck! Get off there!" I'm like, "Well, he's a professional. Like I don't know if he sucks. He's having a bad game." I think like when somebody criticizes something that they don't do, I think they should leave a little space for just maybe I don't like what's happening right now. They don't
yeah,
have to
it's
be
just
awful.
these it's who
Just
can
feels
tell me?
dishonest.
Sure, it's but I don't hold random commenters to such a high standard, you know?
I'm not
Um,
holding to a standard. I guess that's just my internal thoughts whenever I hear it about it. Because
sure,
when I
sure.
watched that, I was just like, Jesus Christ, he must have spent so long editing. Like, I'm not very good at editing. I'm okay at it if I really take my time, and I usually
I'm not
don't.
that good at it either. I feel like I did a good job with the pacing, and I could have done better, but I feel like I did pretty good with the pacing, and I feel like I did pretty good with, like I had some, like, comedy cuts to, like and I had some I don't know, I like, what I did with the editing, but I don't know, like, a lot of fancy shit. Sleepy just said they're making a video and I should be scared. Sleepy, I've seen some of Sleepy's editing. Sleepy can do some things that like I don't know how to do, or I just haven't learned how to do, like with more like plugins and like more of that shit. I like just learned how to like move things and have them like change sizes and shit. So yeah,
You use Adobe, right?
yep.
For a software that costs that much money, it's incredibly unuser friendly for a beginner. It's insane. It's
Oh
very
yeah,
unintuitive. Uh
I'm getting used to it, but
it seems like it just takes practice running into things you don't know, googling how to do it and then knowing after that.
yeah.
Um one of the things that I think is probably like the smartest like artistic choice that you made for the whole thing is there's a lot of like B footage of animals, and I was like, God damn it, that's smart. I don't even know if I said it when I was watching it over, but like I enjoyed it. There was several times where I just had to pull my wife, be like, look, like I just like gesture to her to be like, look, cute animal, like that's fucking smart. Uh, because I'm working on
Yeah.
a couple projects where I don't want it to just be me talking at my camera, and I was trying to figure out like what do I do. And I'm not gonna like put a bunch of cute animals in the background, but I think that gave me some inspiration as to like the different ways that I can have things on the screen when I'm trying to present something. Uh,
Mhm.
because like I
It is
felt
a
totally lost.
if
How did
it
you
is
land
a
on
we
that?
it just feels natural to me. Um, but that being said, it is a weird choice, and some people are criticizing it. Some people really liked it. Some people are like, I should have been using like more clips of Destiny. I did. Okay, as much of a hit piece as this is, I did not want it to be as much of a hit piece. So if I kept using like all footage of Destiny and shit, it'd be like way worse. I wanted it to be like focus on me. This is my opinion, okay? And you like so and people getting mad at me because they disagree with my take on the data or like that's presented, that's totally understandable. Like you don't like you are totally you're entitled to whatever the fuck you want to think, but you're entitled to. I'm not going to fault you for disagreeing with me and being pissed about it. Um, but I don't want it to make it look like I tried to make it by the way I edited it very intimate with me, and this is my perspective and my opinion, and my, you know, so yeah, but
Um, that makes sense.
it made
Speaking,
it fun.
yeah, speaking of intimacy, you had the scene where you're like in the shower and then
Oh
also
yeah,
in the tub.
yeah.
I liked. It seemed like you were slightly on. There was like a part where like you were in the tub and like you kind of turned and put your hand over like shielding where your dick would have been, and I was just like, it feels like he felt like a little particularly shy in that moment, and I got a kick out of it. Like I thought maybe it was just like this can't be on the camera. Um,
Um, I when that was edited to get something good out of it because I kept looking back at the camera because I was trying to make sure I had a good shot. And so I kept looking back at the camera and then looking forward. Um, and looking back, and so I had to like edit out, and then right after it cuts out is when I look back at the camera, but I didn't want to have a bunch of looking at the camera.
sure.
So it was kind of awkward. There's a lot of kind of semi awkward things. I need to get better at having just good takes. That because it's a lot of extra editing came from fucking cutting out all my fucking stuttering and all my like I tried to keep it natural, but that's another reason to have footage over top, because if you're gonna have a bunch of cutting to fix your audio, so that it can be more clear for like a long part where you're not. Because on an intimate part where I'm really just saying what my opinion is, I want to have it looking at me, and I want to have you like looking at my face while I say it. So less cuts, more you can see the awkwardness, my stuttering, But like if it's just trying to read something and getting through it, then I want it to be more clear, and I get better at that.
Yeah, I thought the little moments, like I had mentioned, or like even you said, like when they're stuttering and stuff, I feel like that makes it come across as like a lot more genuine. It doesn't look like you're like like the Young Turks reading off of a prompter kind of deal. Um, I think it forces the people who are watching to have some kind of an emotional connection to you, like you're a person talking to them, rather than like a news report. And I liked that a lot. I think it made me feel more comfortable just watching rather than like getting in my own head thinking about what you're saying, like I would if I'm like
Yeah.
listening to a YouTube video in the
I don't
background.
like the news. I don't like the news report thing.
um, so I was gonna ask you, but you said it. Was it? Did it take you 3 months to make this?
I think so. Maybe 2.5.
Uh, do you Was it worth the time you put in to you?
No. If I got another, I mean, I've made like a more serious 2 hour long fucking thing. It's worth something, but yeah, if I don't really know, who fucking cares? I'm on to the next thing. I'm ready for whatever's next.
Nah, I
I'm
guess just
thinking about
as
making. I don't know how I'm gonna fall on this, but I want to do some more research on um, the Rick and Morty guy.
Justin Roiland.
Yeah, I think he might. It might he all the charges got dropped.
Yeah,
And I think he might have been like canceled for no reason. I mean, I've seen the sexts, they're not sex, the texts. They're not
sure.
sexts, but and they creeped me out. But like now, like looking back, I'm like, I don't know. I want to learn more because there might be something else to this. Like, what is his relationship to this? I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna make that video because I don't know how I feel yet, but I'm interested in that.
Yeah. I'd be interested in that because it seems like we're very hyper focused on people behave in their worst moments, and then sort of accrediting their entire personality to be uh the worst they could possibly be.
Right now, it seems to me like he made really edgy jokes with like someone very young, and I don't think he was trying to groom her at all. I think he was like like inappropriately edgy. What is his relationship to her? Is he like a cousin or like a nephew or something? Because then it'd be like make sort of more sense. The reason he's even talking to them at all. But like regardless, I don't think he was like grooming anybody, and I don't. So like it's just all the massive amount of cancellation doesn't seem appropriate for what he did. Just like if Destiny had got like deplatformed or something like because of like the things in like the Destiny report, I don't think that's appropriate either.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so. I'm not a big fan of that stuff. Um, I even before all the internet stuff, I used to be pretty animate about not treating people like their worst moments are just who they are. Um, but so before I forget this again, um, a lot of people said that you didn't have the context. I haven't seen everything that you've talked to with everybody yet. But did anybody talk about? I can't remember her name. The the one or two women that came over during I don't know if it was TwitchCon. They stayed at his apartment and then he kicked them the fuck out because he was afraid that they might say that he tried to rape them or something like that. Somewhere along those lines. It was towards the beginning of the report. And I
I
just
don't remember
thought,
that.
um yeah, so they stayed the night and one of them went to his place which was unlocked to get their phone charger or to charge their phone and then they left.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And when I heard about it on stream, just sort of like passively watching, I was probably working or something. The way he framed it seemed pretty fine. But then when I like went over and I read about it and I thought about the stream that I had watched, so I had all the context, I'm like, this seems really wild. Like this is a very, very aggressive and sort of out of left field thing to say for somebody who's on the up and up. Because I couldn't ever imagine doing that.
I don't know. I get it. I get the paranoia. Like I said, with a lot of power comes a lot of responsibility, and
Yeah.
I get it. I just get I don't know. I feel like I didn't mention that part because it just I don't remember all the details off the top of my head from that part, but I remember him. It just seemed like he was. It didn't seem like he did anything wrong. It seems like he's just. I just get it. I feel like I get it. I don't know.
I guess I've definitely responded to people out of my own like fears and paranoia, but I've also been super upfront and just said that, and I was really compassionate towards the other person because of it. There wasn't
Sure.
like a like an anger, like I'm kind of putting like I'm gonna put this on you because I have these kinds of feel. That's the part that seems that's the part that sways me over to one side of like saying like something not good happened here. Because if you know that you're putting them in a weird position just because you're paranoid, I think that it doesn't really make any sense to be aggressive and shitty with them.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
that's one of the things that were in the report that when I read it, and I think that kind of got Benny too when we were reading it on stream, was like this feels a lot different now looking back at it than when I just heard it because Destiny is really good at when he's explaining things, like you're watching him, you have watched him, so there's going to be a connection, and you're just automatically going to be like moving closer to his side when he's telling his side of the story, and there isn't anybody else telling their side of the story, so you're
I
going to
don't.
feel
I don't.
inclined.
Sure. This is all true, but I just didn't feel that with that part.
I understand.
I just didn't feel it. I just didn't feel it.
I guess that's just one of the parts where I felt like adding the context doesn't really help it. Um, and as far as all the other stuff goes, I will say this: it's all pretty murky. And I think the point of the report is to show that it's repeated. Like a lot of these actions have been repeated over and over again because on their face, a lot of them are just kind of murky. Like if the Anna thing had happened and it was just her and none of this other stuff happened, I think we could just kind of be like, this one's kind of tough. We can call it a
I
wash.
don't know. I don't get. I don't care. I don't agree actually. With the Anna stuff, I feel like it was or like a repeated. I think it's just um, it was not. Like you can say that she's not like a perfect person, and you can say that she was, the personal responsibility. She was throwing herself to the fire or throwing herself to the wolves, over and
Sure.
over. When someone's throwing themselves to the wolves over and over, and then you keep like destroying them, making them go down a spiral of their mental health, and then you start sexing them again, and then it happens again, and like it's just like, um, in the amount of times that loop happened, when Destiny looped, um, the amount of times that happened is just incredibly negligent. It's just there's no
Uh, there becomes a point, and I guess a lot of that stuff I wouldn't have known about until after Mr. Girl got involved. Um,
right because we didn't know
Sure, I
he
guess
was
I did a bad job of explaining that. Sorry, if what we had known prior to the report coming out and then finding out a bunch more stuff, I'd say that like what's just what we knew by watching Destiny streams that oh well, you know what? Never mind. I don't know when the Kiwi Farms thing came out. At the point of sending people to Kiwi Farms, it's inexcusable. Like you said about people throwing themselves to the wolves. If we keep having people throw themselves to wolves, we create policy and like plans to prevent wolves from having contact with
yeah.
people. And we certainly don't go to the wolves and give them the person's home address.
Right, and especially, like, so and then you're making content off of it and then making money off of it, and you're like so, like, if you are a sword, and people keep falling on you,
Yeah.
like, like, at some point, you're gonna have to be like, "Okay, can we try to figure out I'm a fucking sheath?
Yeah.
'Cause I'm a sword." Like, I need to protect people from me.
At least put a rubber
Uh,
stopper on the tip here, can we please?
yeah. Yeah, 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 and but then Destiny can say like, "Well, I could have," and he says this a lot. "I could have been worse. I could have done worse." Uh, like
When is
you
that
yeah,
ever a
you
good excuse?
it's not a good excuse.
Yeah. Um I don't remember what the context of this was, but I heard somebody say to their parents, well, I could have been a drug addict. I'm like, that's not an excuse for anything that you're doing right now. Like, what? Um, I don't
Yeah.
understand how saying like I could have been more terrible. Like, yeah, every single person in the world could have been a murderer. Every single person in the world could have been a rapist. The things that they've done that are bad do not
If I
make
wanted
them less bad.
if I wanted to make you look bad, I could have leaked the conversation that I recorded that you didn't know I recorded, where you said the N word, just to add on to the pile. Um, I'm paraphrasing it. It's a quote. Um, so yeah, like, oh yeah, you could thanks a lot for not doing that. Gee,
I would say that revealing that recording already makes you worse now, because now you know that they have like some inherent power over you too. So
yeah, it's also yeah, threat.
yeah, I think saying I could have been worse and then following it up by how you could have been worse is not even implicit. This is explicitly threatening the person.
Mhm.
I guess it's implicit if you
It's
have
implicit.
no idea. Uh, I feel like we're riding the line here. Like I feel like if you know how people talk at all, it's a pretty explicit threat. Definitionally it's implicit, but um
It's a pretty big implicit threat.
yeah, like if somebody twice
Well,
your
think
size
what
like
you're
I
doing.
could beat your ass right now. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you just wanted to inform me that you have the physical capability. Okay. Yeah. That I think I
Oh yeah,
already
you're
knew
right.
that.
I didn't realize that you could beat my ass right now. Yeah, that makes yeah. Thanks for pointing that out. Makes me feel a lot better.
Now I know. In case I was wondering. Uh yeah. Um I think it's Are you freaked out that it seems like almost nobody? I think Erudite might have been somebody who did it, but almost nobody has taken anything from this and then applied it to things that have happened since it. And there's been a lot of times, like, did you see Destiny talk to Brittany Simon or talk about Brittany Simon
Yeah.
and their friendship ending?
That that one, oh my god, like, Jesus Christ, I like Destiny, okay? And I get that one too. No, in the context of all of this, for I don't know if I saw everything, but, oh man, I just oh my god, because of the Destiny report and because of all that, he just seems so sensitive, and when she started giving him such a similar criticism, he just, like, snapped, and he's like, "No, fuck you, you're out of my life." Like, it's just like, oh man,
When
that's why I said it, like, when you watch someone, like, do like, if you include the context, like, it doesn't make it okay, but, like, I mean, do I, can I empathize with Destiny sometimes, you know?
Sure. I think there's a lot of bad things that people do where I'm like, "Oh my god, that's fucked up." Like, no, no, no. I get it. I get it.
Yes.
But like
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Um there's a I have a lot of those moments, but that doesn't mean that I think it's okay. But the whole time that the Brittany Simon like meltdown was happening, there was like a video being edited in my head of like every like 2 minutes just like a clip of him saying like I can take criticism from anybody playing like ironically like being inserted into that video over and over and over again um because it was a criticism sure but like there was also a complete unwillingness to engage with her about it and it was just like we're over it's done and because it was happening publicly this is a message to people who might make a similar
It
criticism as well.
yes. Yes. I think that was probably a big part of it. So, like, who is, like, someone even way smaller than Brittany Simon? What kind of position are they to then, like, steelman her?
Yeah,
Like, because the way he responded really validates the exact criticism that she was giving.
yeah. um and like I think that it sort of added a bit of a glow around the Destiny report, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like if only somebody could have predicted that this kind of thing would have happened, and then like the Destiny report's just sitting there like beaming. Um,
But it's not like he's entitled to do that. He's completely, like, I wouldn't say that he shouldn't be allowed to do that too. Like,
no, but it validates the criticisms.
you can yeah, but you can be a streamer or whatever, and you can, like, be like, I don't engage with criticism. I I if you talk about me this way, like, I'm not associating with you ever again. But those he doesn't actually, like, say that. He brands himself as the opposite, and then people, like, fall on his sword over and over. He doesn't
Yes,
have the appropriate boundaries for the way that he behaves.
yeah, it's not just that he set the standard, but he also uses the standard that he engages with criticism as sort of a shield against people saying that he doesn't or that he's bad at it. He always refers to the fact that anybody can come on and criticize him about anything. And because he says that and he will bring it back up whenever something comes up to imply that he doesn't, but then when we look and see what happens when people really do criticize him, um, in a way that he's not going to uh, just like be able to sit and debate them at, then it gets
Right.
really bad. So my problem is that the standard that has been set only seems to exist as a shield to protect himself from more severe criticisms.
Yeah, he will engage with criticism, uh, like, engage as far as he'll like, his thing is arguing, and he's good at arguing, and so he needs criticism. So, like, I guess in a way he's, like, really receptive to criticism because that's he needs criticism, um, or he needs something to argue about. But, um, personal criticism, I don't think.
Yeah, it seems like professional criticism is the only thing, but if it gets intertwined with personal, then
No,
it's
no, not
it
even
becomes
professional.
bad.
Because, like, professional and personal are very mixed in this context. Like, there's no boundary between his professional and like, I mean, there probably is, but, like,
How would I
There
word
there
that?
is clearly probably on his side, but like from what we see, there is a lot of blur between professional and personal. Um, I'm sure that there's a lot of personal stuff in his life that he does not make public, but there
I
is a
guess
lot that he does. So
I guess the better way to say it is that he's very receptive to criticisms about opinions that he has.
yes, okay, yeah,
So when
yes, yes,
when he's openly inviting, I'd say it's honest if you disagree with a political position. If you do disagree with some social commentary, yeah, come and talk to me about it. But if you have a problem with me,
behavior,
I never want to fucking see or talk about you again. If somebody keeps trying to bring you up, they're fucking gone.
yeah,
Um, and that's like the thing we saw with I mean Brittany Simon, and it even caused like when I think you brought up the Lav and irrelevant thing, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that was another really good example. And I thought he did such a good job when he was like, all right, if people platform her, I'm just not going to have them on my website. Is that okay? Am I allowed to do that? Like, like it was like a sympathy draw. And I was just like, yeah, nobody's saying you can't do anything with your own shit. The question isn't whether or not you can do it, but it's how is this going to affect the people around you? How is this going to persuade people to do what you want rather than what they want? And
right. Honestly, there's something he said that he's taken from the Destiny report, which I think is really good. It just he didn't say it in a way that really concedes anything, but he took away one of the right things. Um, at least he mentioned it once. I think his willingness to have people on very attractive. He grows a lot of new people, and like he creates an environment where people can grow because of that. But also, it makes it so that you are beholden to him, and if you are not able to give him personal criticism of his like behavior, but also you like it makes a situation where now you're like really subversive or no, not you're subservient to him in a way like
yeah, anything that you
like
get
our
from his
relevant.
platform comes with some dose of like fear as well.
Yeah, our relevant on that stream. I don't know what he would say, but he had to cover. I was freaked out. I don't know what he would say. I like so. This is if I was in his shoes, I would have been really freaked out. And he had to cover up Destiny's icon because Destiny being on his stream could have gotten him banned from Twitch.
Yeah.
And like I would have been like that is like why are you doing this right now? Like seriously, you're like you're putting to do this, you're putting my like career in jeopardy, like
Yeah, it's almost like he was threatening his income or something like that. Similarly to if somebody was DDoSing you, I don't know.
yeah. Someone said, in quotes, "You robbed a bank isn't exactly criticism if you never robbed the bank."
Um, okay. Do they care to draw the exact parallel here?
Yeah,
Um,
I don't.
so if
You're just saying he didn't do it. But what are you saying? Like so, because most of the report, the Destiny report, is transcripts and DM logs.
Yeah,
So
I really hate that
what did he?
criticism they just gave because it would be like if somebody hacked into the bank and rerouted certain transactions into their own account, and it's like, hey, you robbed a bank. It's like, well, I actually didn't do that. All I did is reroute certain transactions that were unethical to begin with, and I put them into my bank account so that way the bank wouldn't get rewarded for that bad behavior. Like, yeah, okay. But you're still robbing them. Like, I think when somebody says robbing a
But
bank, they usually mean somebody going
but
in with a gun. Like, yeah, okay, you robbed the fucking bank.
But I know, but you see, when I robbed the bank, I only made those transactions come to me because those are unethical transactions, and I was protecting other people from this behavior because they're bad. And not only that, but I'm more powerful than the bank, so like I'm the government. So and because I'm the government, it's okay because
Yeah,
I'm
I have a
stronger.
responsibility to teach this bank a lesson.
Yes, yes.
That's cool. I like how you just explained how you robbed the bank, but refused to admit that you robbed the bank. this is how I feel like these kinds of criticisms will go. Um, so I'm kind of glad that they said that because, like, whenever this kind of criticism comes up, we get bogged down on talking about a bunch of semantic bullshit. But at the end of the day, I think that it's still pretty fair to say, like, no, that bank was robbed just because you didn't have a gun, because you didn't do it the normal way, and you
But
created some
there
outs
are
for
things.
yourselves.
But no, hold on. There are things in the report that could be interpreted one way or another. Like for instance, that Destiny like choking his ex-wife out thing. Like I interpreted that. I don't think you should assume that he actually like choked her out. Like it sounds like he was doing the same thing Max was doing. Like so like there are things where you can say like I don't think you're right. I don't think your criticism is correct. I don't think that those in misinterpret like those differences of interpretation so that's what talking about the different interpretations. It's one of the first things I said in the fucking video. But I don't think those differences in interpretation stem from lack of context. I think they stem from like the actual. You're taking the actual fact of the matter here. What did he mean when he say this? When he said this, you could say that what is one person? What is a threat to one person? It like it depends. It hinges on intent sometimes. So maybe like well, maybe you just think he was completely naive and stupid and he doesn't talk. He's like not a good communicator. He doesn't understand what he's communicating when he says it. I mean, I'm just being facetious, but you could say that he's making that type of social error and doesn't understand that the implicit threat with what he's saying, or like so or like um people were saying that with the clip that I used of him doing the review of Lav's husband's like company, and then he says at the end, like at the end, he says, "Don't do it to him." Um,
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh no, he meant don't do that to the wallet."
Yeah, I guess
You could interpret it that way.
if you've never watched Destiny before,
I don't
or
know,
if you can't pick up on
I
social
guess I
cues.
guess I guess you maybe you're right. Maybe he did mean it that way, but that's not how I took it. So maybe you're right, and maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I interpreted it.
So I think in cases like that, I'd say you probably have to know the person. It seemed like he's half joking. It's like tongue in cheek, half joking about it. Like, I kind of have to say this. It would be funny if you did it, but like, I also don't want to get in trouble for it. Like, you probably shouldn't, but like, I'd laugh if you did. It's kind of like one of
Well,
those things.
that's what the emotional manipulation tactic that he said, where you get someone to the point, just a point of agreeing with you, and then you completely pull back so that you remove all responsibility on your end. And it's literally what he did there. And then after saying that, he's like, "Oh, but I'm not really saying that he actually did that to Lav. I'm just saying it kind of seemed like that to me. But I'm just a memer." You know, he literally did it to his audience after saying that. Like
Yeah,
um, and like
I'm
the
just asking questions, guys.
this motherfucker, like that is so funny. If you are in the know and you're watching him do it, and you're like, if you do what he does and you watch him do it, and you're like, because I didn't realize that until I'd watched it like 4 or 5 times that he literally does it after saying how to do it. Um,
Well, see,
but like
Smeth, if you're a
I can't
tier
imagine.
5 DGGer, you'd know that that was actually the real joke for the 4D chess players in the audience, because like he wasn't actually doing it, but the implication is that he was actually
But
doing
you
it
know,
to his
but
audience.
he
Yeah,
actually was doing it though.
yeah, I
Like
think that that's
I'm
but
just
it
saying
leaves that out
if you
still.
are on the level of him, like in your if you use that tactic to other people and you watch him do that and you're like laughing the whole time because he's doing it while explaining it. Uh,
Yeah,
um,
things like that kind of freak me out because when I was in my early 20s, my life sucked and I really just got by a lot by like being shitty and manipulating people because I was like I was homeless a lot and like super fucking broke and I didn't have like no direction. I just sort of like crashed with people because I lived out in the middle of nowhere, couldn't find a job, and I got my act together. And one of the things that I'm super hyper aware of is how easy it is to manipulate people just by patterns of behavior that you're not even trying to engage in. So when I see somebody that's like pretty aware doing it, it always freaks me out.
Yeah, I'm like where someone in chat, the same person that's been criticizing me, and you're entitled to. And I appreciate you being here, um, Metallica, you fucker. But you just said that's close to exactly what you're doing, Smith. Smith, excuse me. I misspoke your misspelling of my name, but yeah. If I I'm not, but we are all like if you want to be autistic about it, we are all manipulating people by the very nature of communicating.
Sure.
Like and um people who are really good communicators, I'm not the best, but are technically more manipulative. But I think the thing that differentiates like someone who is truly manipulative from someone who isn't, at least in the context I'm thinking, is intent. And their like if their ability to like completely be separate from their behavior, where like it's not like they just this is how they speak. They're making a formulaic response to trigger a specific response from you. Like and they have it all structured and they're playing you like a computer game. Like I don't do that. Like most people don't do that. Um
That's what makes it bad from him is he lays out how he did, like he's aware of it. Because I've encountered people in my personal life that are very manipulative with how they do things, and it is just a pattern of behavior that's paid off, so that's just what they do. But if I have a
yeah,
conversation with
like
you and I point out how it is manipulating me and I don't like it and I don't like that you're doing it to me, if you continue
oh
to
shit.
do it,
Oh shit.
now
Like
we have a
I like
problem.
internalize that. Yeah, like when you're like in close relationships with people, that's part of communication. Where like when you do this, it has this effect on me. I don't like it. We need to talk about this. That's important. Um, yeah, an example of someone that's like manipulative, like the pretty girl that like cries every time something goes wrong or something, and she learns like that, like anyway, stereotypical example, but she's learned to cry all the time, and it's manipulative because then she ends up getting her way. Um, or like a pretty boy that like like you act cute or whatever and like people let you get away with fucking crazy shit because you're just like, oh, I'm a cute sexy pretty little boy or whatever, pretty man.
Yeah, I have a problem with that too. I used to have an issue with my wife whenever I'd bring up issues between us, she would cry, and eventually I had to be like, look, I know you're not like crying. You're crying because you're sad, but like it's very difficult for me to talk about these things when when you cry every single time. Because it makes me feel like I'm not supposed to even be saying it anymore. Um,
Yeah, and it makes it hard to talk.
yeah, and it makes it hard to proceed. Like at a certain point, you just feel like, am I being an asshole right now just by virtue of expressing my feelings? That's not good. So once that's put out there, I think all that it takes is if somebody makes an effort to do something different, then even if they fail, we can say, okay, they're
It's a big deal.
it's nowhere near the level of manipulation. There is not an intentional manipulation happening here anymore. Because once you're aware, it is intentional. And if you can't fix it entirely, addressing it's good. But these aren't the kinds of things that I see here. And I feel like I have to state this every so often too, and I know you do too. I'm a really big Destiny fan. I have been for a long time. I just don't like him so much as a person anymore. But I love his
I like him.
content.
Okay. I've watched his content for quite a while.
Yeah.
Um, I never liked him as a person.
I think I
Um,
thought I did, but I didn't put any
uh,
thought
but
into it.
but like him more as a person the more I
Oh,
know. It's just I just like I think he needs to set boundaries because like I know that really I'm sociopathically grumpy in the morning. Like am I the part of my brain, I think it seems like the part of my brain that like has empathy is not awake yet. Like genuinely like really e- I if I'm left alone I'm happy, but if you try to get me to be like um like have like emotional communication with you, I'm going to like be like you're gonna get me closer and closer to snapping for the first like a half hour to like 45 minutes when I wake up, and
Are
so
you a
I set
coffee
boundaries
queen?
around that. No, if I've quit coffee.
Oh,
Some
okay.
once in a while I have a cup, but mainly I quit. But yeah, it I set boundaries around that. Um, I think Destiny's always working on trying to figure out those boundaries, but a lot of not a lot of those lacks of lack a lot of those boundaries that he lacks are also lacks. They're also lacking a lot of those boundaries is also what makes him money. Makes him content. It makes him have all these orbiters that produce a lot of content for him, and also like it give like a create a culture for like a really robust community. And it also puts people in like a bad position. It's just there for him to make all these boundaries would be a concession to his career even. So it's
No, you're not wrong. The thing that Destiny does, and he spells it out, he's very open and honest about this, is that he does work on those boundaries, but he's always working on them from the perspective of how do I set them so that I'm benefited the most. It doesn't seem like the boundaries are ever put in place for the safety and protection of other
yeah,
people. Um, if the safety and protection of other people are important to protecting himself, that's when he'll do it. So that's why we see him seeking them out after something bad happens because of it,
right,
because
which
it's
is good,
necessary. We don't want to repeat the same mistakes. Um,
right?
but the reason why I think they're not proactive is because they're not made with the other people in mind.
Yeah. You can't prove that, but
Well, I would say that it
I
would
get
be
the
very
feeling
hard for
too.
me to
I get the
think
feeling he's a
otherwise.
sociopath. I get the feeling he's a sociopath too. But that no like that makes me like him because um
And I guess I'm not saying, somebody asked me, should we necessarily put up boundaries for other people? I'm not saying that you have to, but I think it does inform. If you wouldn't, I think it does inform the kinds of interactions that you have with people. It gives me insight into why you might behave certain ways. Um, and if I don't see you ever putting up boundaries for other people's sake, I'm probably not going to believe that you took an action for somebody else at the cost of yourself, if that's what you claim.
well, why would you put up boundaries for other people's sake? Because he literally won't do that because personal responsibility. So I'm not going to put up these boundaries to protect you. It's your responsibility to protect yourself. It's not my responsibility. If my community harasses for you, like quote from him, like might be paraphrasing, I have no, I have nothing to lose if my community harasses her forever, referring to Anna. So it should it should be on her to resolve this, not on me. It's her because that's just literally just might makes right. Oh, it doesn't fucking matter to me. So I'm not gonna stop it. It's you got to deal with it. Um, why would I set a boundary to protect you? This is your fault. Um,
It should be on her, but if she can't, then it has to be on somebody. We can't just let people blow themselves up.
I think it's always both. Like we need to not hurt people, and we need like from both sides. Like if you are Anna, you need to not hurt Destiny. If you're Destiny, you need to not hurt Anna, which just fucking not hurt people. And if someone hurts you, that doesn't mean you should hurt them back. And maybe hurting them back will make them like not able to hurt you or destroy their reputation. Like destroying someone's reputation, and they can't nobody will believe you ever again. Like that's just not like civilized behavior.
Yes. We've come full circle. When people ask me, "Do you think it's okay to hit women?" I say, "I don't think it's okay to hit people." Like, why are you hitting people? That's usually my answer to that. Even if I have hit somebody, I shouldn't have done it. Um,
Hmm.
and I think that in this part of the internet, we've gotten super focused on what I don't know. There's like such a self-serving, self-interest idea that like you're the only thing that matters, so you can use anything that happens to you as an excuse to like basically do whatever you want as long as you don't break a
Yeah.
couple of key rules.
We have no rules on the internet, you know? It's just whatever's legal goes, and so, like, the boundaries of doxing even are getting blurred, like, people are every day I hear people give a new definition for doxing that excludes whatever behavior they just did. So, like,
Yeah, I can't imagine what would have brought that discourse on.
no, I was thinking about earlier, I was listening to a space on Twitter,
Hmm.
and, like, a reporter woman found like, you remember there was a video on an airplane of a woman saying, "That guy's not real, that guy's not real, get me off the fucking plane, that guy's not real." Um,
No, that sounds incredible.
she said he was like he blinked sideways and he's a lizard man or something like that. And so this reporter found who she was so that she could like ask her questions and show like people know like I think people know who she is now, but like and she didn't like dox like anything else, she just who she is. And then which I mean I didn't have a problem with that like really. But then she's like, and by the way, it's not doxing. Um, it's only doxing if it's only doxing if if they're not a public figure or don't become a meme. And also, like if they don't you can't control yourself becoming a meme because someone fills you on an airplane. And also, it's not. Also, I could have leaked her address and I could have leaked her like phone number, but I didn't. It's like if you didn't even say that, I would have been so much more happy than if you said that. God damn it, dude. Like,
I think I'd be a lot more satisfied if people just own their shit. Be like, yeah, it was
yeah,
fucked up, but I stand by it. Like,
it's
okay,
mildly it's mildly like if anybody asks you, yeah, I guess it's kind of rude to. So it's up to the woman. Like, how does she feel about it? Like her name being out there, right? If she doesn't care, then it's fine.
sure, yeah. I mean, that's actually yeah, yeah. Um, I think that I just can't say like I don't. I expect people to fuck up, make mistakes, and do bad things sometimes. Basically, everybody that I know, internet or in real life, I always expect this. But when somebody does something shitty and tries to explain to me why it's good or okay, that's when I get mad. Like
Yes.
just say you fucked up because I don't want you to feel like okay, I find this acceptable. If you're online, I don't want other people to see what you did that's shitty and go, "Oh, this is okay. I'm gonna build this
Yeah.
into how I think about things." No, just say
We
you did
shouldn't.
something shitty.
We should. Yes. We shouldn't feel justified to retaliate against people. Like it happens. We're all human. But, like, we shouldn't, be like, "Oh, you did this? Oh, I've been waiting for a time to fucking go at someone. I'm so glad you crossed this line with me because I've been because my good pal Destiny told me that it's perfectly okay to retaliate. So, let's go, buddy. Because you know what? I've been watching him since I was 15 years old, and Jesus, like, no, like, it's not like if you do that, you should be like embarrassed afterward, at least, you know?
Yes. I guess just so that I'm not saying other people should do this and not. Uh I worked 16 hours on Tuesday and afterwards I got into a fight with my wife and I addressed some things that I was legitimately concerned about, but I also said things that I shouldn't have and it was fucked up. But the next day she brought it up and it was a apology. She said, "Hey, wait, stop. For before you say anything, I need you to know that like I do regret a lot of the things I said that was fucked up. I shouldn't have said it. I did mean the things that I said I have a problem with, but everything else that came with that was fucked up. That's on me." I was like, that was
Mhm.
wrong. And I'm really sorry that I did that. I think I was overly sensitive and I shouldn't have done any of that. That's, I don't even need people to go that far, but I just want people to own their shit sometimes. And it's not easy to do. It feels bad. It makes you feel bad about yourself. Nobody wants to reflect like that, but it goes so far
It makes
into
you it
making.
it might make you look bad. Like, if you're a public figure and you do it, it might make you look bad, but,
To me, that makes you look
like,
better, but I don't think to the general
it's
public it does.
yeah, because, like, so that's why people like Trump get ahead. Like, Trump gets accusations double down. I'd do it again. I grab pussies in my sleep. I have a woman stand by. I have a random woman I've never met before, against her will, stand next to my bed so I can wake up and grab her pussy.
She hates it.
Like, yeah, she hates it. But like, but like, owning up to your shit is absolutely not rewarded at all. Like, the only way to like have a career as a public figure, and like look at iDubbbz. Um, like you look so, because any admission of guilt, and I just know a person. He's also, I don't completely agree with all of his choices, but any admission of guilt is seen as a weakness, and because people hate you for doing something bad, and so any admission of guilt means, see, there, that's more evidence for me to use against you. Now that you've said that you actually did do it, now I can hurt you even more. So it doesn't serve any. I think that if we want people to own up to like their wrongdoing, we have to be able to not jump down people's throats, and we have to stop the cancel culture bullshit.
I agree with that. When you brought up the iDubbbz thing, I thought when I watched that video, I was like, wow, this is really fucked up. And I think I know why. He made a public apology. He publicly talked about what happened and apologized to us. I think it'd have been a lot different if he was on a call with the person he was shitty to and he apologized to them and owned his shit to them.
Sure, but one of the things I hate about it is like, with like slurs and stuff. Like, he used to like constantly make points about how there's a difference between like using a slur to like hurt someone and like using it like because you're being edgy, and they're like not the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you could argue that they're both bad, but they're not the same. And like now he's like saying they are the same thing, and it's just like, dude, you're like, like, I don't. It's just virtue signaling to me. It's like, I don't even know how, how you could revert your, like, I can understand people getting offended because they see it as the same. So if you use a slur, it's on you because personal responsibility and all. You know that people you ever risk it like really pissing people off. So, when you use a slur, you have to be aware that you are playing with fire. But if you're
It's,
not one of those people, to turn into one of those people is like, I don't it just seems
well, that seems insane to say that they're the same. That's like saying going to a Klan rally and being in a skit about going to a Klan rally are the same thing.
right.
They're clearly not.
And to know that they're not, but then like later on change your mind and say that they are the same thing is like, are you like dumber now? Like, like
Or does the internet just own your fucking balls?
yeah,
Yeah. And now
yeah,
I can't trust anything that you say. And
yeah,
that's probably the problem with internet apologies in general, is that it always feels fake. There's no way to make it not feel fake because nobody ever apologizes to the person they fucking did something to. They apologize to us.
yeah. And then if they show us them apologizing to the person, then it's also, what you need is you need an incidental, like, you're live streaming and it happens live. What, like, you're like 3 feet away from the camera, and like it happens, but it's so incidental, and then everybody be like, it's real, it's really real.
Well, it has worked where somebody's apologized to the person and that person talks about it publicly and says we're cool now. That actually seems to be effective
Somewhat, yeah.
because they're not getting any views, they're not getting any clicks. It just happened off camera, and then the other person informs. I guess that's the internet way of accepting their apology, is to let people know that they apologized off camera.
Yeah.
Silly. Um,
But then that like makes it so that you have to pressure your victim to like help you now, and it's like weird. It's like, victim
yeah, yeah, yeah,
loosely, because it could be anything, but
yeah. There's no perfect thing. But
just we're not meant to. I just I think personally, I want people to not cancel people. So like I made this video, but my description of the video is like you should not be banned from YouTube. I'm just making fucking criticisms, okay? And this is not like a absolute condemnation. But we should be able to talk about these things, and we should be able to talk about them without like hating each other. And yeah, it's like
The standard's been set such that we don't know what anybody actually thinks, because uh there's always a censorship running in the back of your head saying, well, I can't say this, this, or this. So if somebody really wanted to, you'd never even know.
yeah.
There's like an implied fakeness to every interaction that could go a certain way because their dollar is tied to them behaving in a certain way. It's like going to somebody's job and knowing them only from their job as a customer and thinking that you know who they are.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, he's so even mannered. Like, no, he wanted to tell you to fuck off and call you a fucking bitch, but he can't because he'll get fired. Are you kidding me? You don't know who this person is.
Hmm.
You know how shitty you have to be to make somebody think it's worth getting fired to tell you off. Um, so I think that's just a part of it.
Irony
Um,
poisoning too.
did you say
Irony
irony
poisoning.
poisoning?
Yeah.
I hate that because
I don't think Destiny's irony poisoned.
because that's very much my sense of humor. But I'm like basically the same age as Destiny. We're like a year apart. And I don't like that sometimes people can be joking and people act like it's obvious, but then if I say that I'm joking about something, I have to be held to it. There's no consistency in irony use on the internet whatsoever. You're ironic if I wanted you to be. That's what the rule is. If I didn't want you to be ironic, then you're not.
Yeah, I feel like people are just stupid with the irony thing. Like irony poisoning is there are people who like can't not be ironic.
Yeah,
So like they don't know the difference between real and not.
sure. And but well, that's sort of just what's brought us to here. So that now nobody knows anymore. Um, because sometimes people are like that. We've just been exposed to too much irony. Uh, some
Too
people
much irony in our diet.
that's how you get irony poisoning. Um, so it
It's the tap water.
it's full of irony and fluoride.
Well, Flint, Michigan, they were really high in iron. All right, sorry.
That's good. I was just in Flint a couple days ago. The water was all right. Uh, but it might still be fucked. Overall.
I thought
Um,
Smeth was like 24. Turns out dude's brick walling baldness, and now turns out Drazi's over the wall. What the fuck? No more heroes. I'm not fuck. I have a. This is not fucking bald. I have a thick Greek, luscious head of hair. I'm lucky that I have a no baldness in any side of my family. I need a haircut.
uh, Parallax. I think that Smeth's video on the report was necessary. I think that the report maybe doesn't do anything that it seeks out to accomplish without. I think this. I'm gonna stop talking to him. I'm gonna talk to you. I think that you did for the report what Mr. Girl meant to do with the report. I think you gave it the thing that it needed to attempt to do the thing that it's trying to do. Because, like you said, nobody talked about the contents of the report. This forces a conversation about the contents of the report. It also forces a conversation about things about the video that aren't it. But I think there's an inevitability that now things that are inside of it have to be talked about. You've gotten enough views on it. Um, and I think that you are more willing than Mr. Grill to redirect and focus on it. That's I went onto the hotline and talked to him about it. I thought he did really bad at the interviews.
Yeah.
Um and I think that you didn't write the report, so you don't have the kind of emotional connection to it, to where you're not going to focus on the things that you want to talk about because of like any of the reasons that he had. I'll just say, do you think that you've gotten to talk to people about things in the report that haven't been talked about?
It's really just honestly, it's like might makes right is something people think. It's retaliation is not like m- like retaliation is not morally justified. Um when you have a big platform, you have to be responsible. Like it's not the bigger your platform, the more dangerous you are. So like you are a sword and if people keep falling on you, you have to protect that. Um it's basically those kind of things in general.
Retaliation is morally justified. It's just another word for justice. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
and who said that? Parallax?
Sola 1337.
Oh, never mind.
No, Parallax said the problem is the first report is unnecessary. The second one by default is unnecessary. I hate the conversation over what is and isn't necessary. Nothing is necessary. Okay? As long as you wake up, you eat food, you drink water, that's it. You've met your necessities. You will live. Is living
Necessary wait, ask
necessary?
Parallax, necessary for what? For what? What do you think is the goal? Like, because the goal isn't to get Destiny deplatformed at all. Like, the goal is just I think that if we tell everybody that retaliation is justified, then we're teaching a shit ton of people, like 100,000 or more people that, like really unhealthy, toxic behavior. Um, so the necessary thing is to critique those lessons that we're teaching people and try to be more responsible what we're teaching people.
He said, "Okay, how about the first one served no purpose, and therefore this one shall serve no purpose." And then somebody agreed with him. I don't know what that means though. It had purpose to me. Both of them had purpose to me, and I'm not the only person. So just because that you weren't affected by them in the same way that I was, doesn't mean that there is inherently no purpose. When you say there's no purpose, um, of course it did. You're compromised. So does that mean that anybody who found it to be the case would also be compromised? If so, then I don't understand what the point is. Okay, so I guess if you're a Mr. Girl fan, then you must agree with him about everything, despite the fact that I think that Smeth and myself have probably lodged more public criticisms to him than anybody else who is a fan of Mr. Girl. I guess as long as if we do agree with
Miss
him, it's only because we like him.
Mr. Girl fans are like compared to like most communities are way more critical of him than most people are. And there are some people that are really like just in love. But like um he almost like if you call into his show or whatever and you act like that, he's gonna be like, "Fuck you." You know, you need to be like you need to be mad at me. And like he just wants he wants people to criticize him. He encourages it. So it's a different
Um, this part of it's getting tough to navigate in this format. I'm gonna jump over to this other person who said that neither you nor Max would entertain a discussion about the lav portion, which is the largest portion of it. Um, and they said that your video basically
Me?
implies, yeah. Well, they said that Mr. Girl and you. He says, and in Smeth's video, he basically implies that Lav's critics are jealous of her, which dot dot dot, you know, dot dot dot. Come on. Hi, Sleepy. It's nice to see you here.
Okay. I saw people giving me criticism about that point. So the Destiny, so Destiny says, I'm reading like from the fucking transcripts and shit. Destiny says something like, oh, he says, I hope in 5 years from now you'll realize that when your looks are gone, that I hope you become depressed and you want to kill yourself to laugh. And I said, okay, so men hate women that get by on their looks. Okay. Maybe you're saying I'm projecting. Okay. And I feel this way. And I also try to have humility, but I mean, maybe I am projecting. Okay. And I made the video in a way where it's clear. I think I'm trying to make it clear that it's intimate with me and it's my opinion. Okay. So maybe I am projecting and you're entitled to think that I am. But I think that if you're telling a woman that's 24 years old who is like attractive and a sex worker and has made $200,000 a year when they're doing OnlyFans and shit and is now like rich, and you say, I hope that 5 years from now, when your looks are gone, that you want to kill yourself. It seems clear to me that like you are saying that you hate that she has gotten by on her looks and you hope that when those looks go away, you believe she'll have nothing because you think that all she has is her looks. I think those things are pretty that is to me, that is obvious from what the statement is. So now drawing from what is obvious there, I think that the reason that you would say that is because you hate women that get by on their looks. I think that men resent women who get by on the looks because we can't do that. So we have an extra bit of resent. We're like, well, fuck you. I could never like. It's just something that's unaccessible to us. So I think that that's something that men have inside of us. Maybe you disagree. I think if you tell a woman that you hope that she when she 5 years from now when she's less attractive she wants to kill herself. If you tell a woman that live on a stream to a massive audience, you're directing a shit ton of misogyny at her.
Uh, I don't disagree with that. However, uh, somebody said, "Can't we just hate?" Or the same person said, "Can't we hate Lav for her own characteristics?" I do think that there's an element of that. I think there's a lot of people that get really mad at Lav for things that she actually says and does.
Of
I
course, yeah,
also
of
have
course.
I also have publicly stated several times that I think that she's been in a lot of situations. Now, this was a lot earlier too. I think that she's been in a lot of situations where she really didn't have much of a chance uh to like say or do the optimal things. And I even talked to her on stream about her changing her positions on things and like when she does it and how she does it. And I gave her some advice that she said like, well, I kind of agree with both things, but she'll just argue one side and then argue the other side instead of saying in the beginning like, well, yeah, I understand how both of these things work. I was like,
It's like
okay,
it's like a 15-year-old boy, like or like a teenage boys, they'll like just embody an argument even if they don't fully believe it, just to get you to argue. So I'll argue, oh, abortion, like or like, I don't know, veganism, whatever, and I'll just act as if I completely believe it, just to hear you criticize me and hear what you have to say. So as a way to like explore and learn, like teenage boys do this. I think that's kind of what she does. But also she like that's a little bit charitable. She's also like stirs the shit and she knows what she's doing. She's good at stirring the shit and she knows how to get it provoke a response. Um, and to say that that's not true, like obviously she is all those things.
yeah. I think the hardest part for being critical about Lav is that there's not like a really big like there's like actually no separation between if she's saying something that's hyperbolic or she's joking or she means it. Everything
Yeah.
always comes out as exactly the same, and she doesn't really care to differentiate until something bad happens. When people get really mad,
I
then
can
she says I
you
was joking, and like if you said you were joking like 10 minutes afterwards or like 2 minutes afterwards on the stream, like okay, I
I think
try
you
my
can
best
kind
to
of
like
tell.
put it on the tail, but a lot of people
It,
can't.
right. Yeah, I think to be able to tell you have to like if you had a couple conversations with her, you can kind of tell.
Yeah, and
Um
I'm not saying that. I think she has said some bad things that I don't think are hyperbolic or joking as well. Like
yeah,
she's
sure.
not the same person as me. I don't agree with all the stuff that she says, but
And she's absolutely not a perfect person. She's absolutely not.
I think that Lav is one of the people who's the most like how she is normally on stream. She doesn't have the inner PR guy that says like
Yeah.
you got to explain it like this. Like if you think this, you have to explain it like this because everybody like this sounds really bad, and the thing that people are naturally going to take from it are going to be way the fuck worse than what you mean. And it seems like she just doesn't care to do that. Uh,
No, Rez, we don't agree that Mike makes right. What do you think Mike makes right? At least I don't think it makes right. I mean, I think it makes everybody say you're right.
that's true. Yeah, it's I don't know how many people who abdicate for actions that imply might means right. Um, I don't think that they would extend that very far. I don't see a large part of this community like praising military dictatorships. Um, anyways,
Yeah.
did you
Yeah. Okay. Rez says he doesn't advocate for Mike makes right, but he just realizes reality. Yeah. Yeah. You have to act like it doesn't. You're like a lemming.
that's the beauty of being a person, right? Nature says might makes right, but human beings have the intelligence afforded to us to decide how we want things to be and are not just going to be slaves to our nature, which is why we have houses and computers and stuff. There's nothing natural about making a computer.
Right.
Uh, um, so I don't buy any naturalistic arguments. Human beings
I don't
are
think he's making one. It's just that if people with power are powerful, so it's like if you're gonna go against something that's powerful, um, like I think like you can't be Mr. Girl and just like he's one of them people just throwing themselves on the sword over and over and over again. Just like he's like it like with a dog when you say squirrel, but if you say sword and he just jumps on it.
yeah, I've said before that I like that he does things like that at a certain level. I think that it's very
Ad
inspiring to see somebody continually do something that's right. But as somebody who loves his content and wants to see him like have more, bigger, and better content as time goes on, I'm like, fucking stop! Oh my
yeah.
god, Jesus fucking Christ! You're my favorite streamer. You're not like my uncle setting an example for me. Fuck. Um, but I have both of those at the same time, so sometimes it's really hard to swallow. Like the Destiny report, I was like, "Oh my god." Um, it's actually inspiring to see somebody do something who has to know that like probably not going to change almost anybody's mind, but he's doing it because it's right at the cost of his career.
Yeah.
Um, like there are people out there that actually are principled and really care about doing what they think is right. And then on the other hand, I'm just like, well, now what the fuck am I gonna watch? What am I gonna engage about? What am I gonna talk about? Like this is like my show. My show is gonna lose a lot of ratings, and I'm pissed about it. And it's
No,
hard to kind of like sift out the overall feeling about it. And then stopping the super chats, and I was just like, can we just have you not make any decisions about your stream for like 1 year. Can we just take a break
And then when
from
it was,
making
but
decisions?
also alongside that, he was also like, "I'm not gonna stream on Kick because it's immoral." But he's made that concession, but but he won't to make money from Kick. He'll stream there, but he won't monetize. Uh,
Yeah, I'll go to work, but I'm not going to take any pay. No, no, stop it. Somebody said Jimmy's making bad decisions lately. Jimmy only has the final say over the videos. That's it. He doesn't get to veto career actions. And it's tough. Do you think that uh the discourse that's gotten created, at least directed towards you, is what you wanted to get out of the video?
um, I don't know what I wanted to get out of the video. Like people keep like asking me like that. Like so, I need to do content that has nothing to do with Max and no more. But like, and I have plenty of things I can make content about. This might be like my last conversation about it. But unless someone really wants to talk to me about it. But when he was releasing making and releasing the report, I was like, my brand is everybody knows me for being a Mr. Girl Orbiter. I should make a video about it. And that video, like because of the length of the report and everything, it ended up becoming like a bigger like thing. And and then became more passionate about it because like nobody was actually like really engaging with it the way I wanted them to. But really, I don't know what I wanted. When I was like, my pie in the sky goal with making it was like, what if like this could make Destiny want to like engage with the criticism and not like in a debatey way, just be like, how much of this do I agree with? How much of this do I not agree with? You know, like because he can disagree, but like if there's like are there any points that Destiny agrees with, like of like where he's like, you know what, like I shouldn't do that. Because that'd be cool, like, you know, like, like, it just you just, like, "No, everything I did is fine," or, like, we never even had that kind of, like, there's no point at which Destiny gets this kind of criticism, and he has this kind of um, evaluation where he's like, um, I don't agree with you here and here and here, but I agree with this, and I shouldn't do this," and, like, you know, like, there's
That's what I mean. Or sorry, that's what I
Resi
meant.
wants Resi wants to join the call.
I don't mind.
Alright, right. You do you hold on, I'll invite
Oh, I'm gonna have to change my layout
invite,
here. Um,
right?
I would just like it if I think I'd be really happy if there was just something to the effect said about yeah, I probably shouldn't have done this. Just like I said, I just want people to own their shit.
Alright, you got perms. You can hop in. I gotta like I know how do I never done this. How do I move to here we go.
All right, perfect. I had to come here just because I wanna argue.
Oh, no camera?
No, I'm gonna put my camera on. Just give me 1 second. Okay.
Okay.
I just got done streaming. I was eating chicken cutlets and I was shirtless. So all right. First thing, yes, Destiny actually did kind of give. If you look at the Wick interview, right? Destiny did give like some criticism of it, which I think is probably the most salient criticism of the Max document. Is that one? It's too long. It's so long, and it's so like. It's just like you could just do a piece by piece of like a lot of it, like the whole Nick Fuentes like arc of it, like that could have been its own separate thing, right?
Yeah, it could have been.
And that's like I think like a really good argument to say. It's like, hey, you're criticizing me of this. You're doing this like pattern exposure concept, right? Pattern explosion concepts it's very much stuck within this, like, it feels like it's stuck within this, hey, here isn't this obliquely wrong thing. I think that some of the people that he used as like sources and like some of the other things that were coming around it, yeah, he fucked himself over with this because he waited too long for something that honestly probably could have been done like in a week or so. Matt Smith, I haven't watched your video yet. Um,
Actually, the first in the first like 10 minutes,
uh-huh,
I have 4 minutes of that
uh-huh.
Wick interview. Like I
Okay,
actually
yeah, yeah.
start my video
Mhm.
with Destiny's
Yeah,
responding,
because
criticizing.
he does. He's like, yeah, there are reasonable things that you can criticize me for because, like, we don't agree necessarily, but that's what a critique is. A critique isn't a, hey, you need to change this. It's, hey, respond to this in any ways. And I think that there were some critique um that Destiny like ultimately agreed with, but overall, yeah, no, it's still fucked. Like, it just
I don't think he
it
ever
killed him.
really said like anything that he agreed with. I think he said that he said Max could have built a narrative and he could have
Yes.
done it like this, but he
Yeah.
failed. And like it's so like but he also said that like he would still stand by like killing the DDoS kid, and he said like so if I wanted to do that, I would make that argument like this,
Mhm.
and like so I have to build that narrative, and Max failed to build a narrative
Yeah.
about.
Exactly. But that's the thing is Max tried to build the narrative to be this like over exhausting one that includes like Kira Chats, who has like this like, debated history. It's ignoring like a bunch of the other stuff that we saw come out from it. Like at no point, like again, the Zerka interview I think was like really critical there. I think Max like not admitting that his feelings was hurt, and that was like a large part of what that was. It's not like he was a consistent narrator that seemed to be putting a neutral tone to a lot of it. Again, that's I think without like the links, without video, the neutral tone gets lost because written language sounds way different than like spoken language, and that is what it will always be. I don't think Max present himself as a neutral arbiter even, and I think that's something that he ultimately fucked up with because even when we're looking at a lot of the other work that he does, I think he does great work, right? Like you can shit on yourself for like being like a Mr. Girl orbiter or whatever, right? But like honestly, like you guys have like other than Drazi, like you guys have like visual display on fucking point. Every single one of you. Drazi isn't even fucking trying, okay? All right? I swear. But like
Hey, I just redid your guys's frames so that you looked a little bit better. I was pretty
oh, are
conscious of
you
that.
doing I'm not I was watching I'm on YouTube watching Smeths right now. So but like yeah, I think that largely that's like my issues there. But yeah, might makes right. Might absolutely makes right. That's the way the world works. Ignorance of that is fine, but if we live under capital, that is what the world is. Might makes right.
I mean, yeah, I agree, but
Mhm.
so if you want to fight power, like if you want to stand up to power,
Mhm.
then I think you have to pick your battles.
Yeah,
Like
you
Max
have to
doesn't pick his battles.
mhm.
He just jumps on every fucking sword, like I said, like a
You
dog
have
when you
to
say squirrel.
so and this is like the thing, it's like you have to combat power, you have to assume power, right? And I think that this is why with the analysis that I think you're going with, like Max being like, oh, I'm not going to monetize on Kick. Guy, make some money. If you make money and your vision's worthwhile, then guess what ends up happening? You're capable of doing that more equitably, right?
Yeah.
It is a hollow hell, but to go ahead and castigate yourself out of a system that allows you access to the wheels of power just means that you don't believe that the system works into itself. And I think that's the same criticism I have for people that are like against voting. I really think it's important for us to be like, no, voting kind of based. All right, it's just good. It's not a bad thing to be able to vote. And in fact, like that's the point of having the multiple wheels of power. Like when they talk about like the four boxes, like the soap box, the ballot box, the bullet box, and there's one other one that doesn't really matter that much, right? But like it's the same argument. If you're gonna go ahead and defang yourself in the necessary like jungles that is existence, then all you're doing is weakening your own ability. It is good to be virtuous, I will say that, but it is better to be able to go ahead and give up the taste that's in your mouth, the fleshy bits, rather than swallowing if that's something you're against, but you should still have those fleshy bits when you're done dealing with monsters.
It used to be understood, like in the 60s and 50s in America, that your job was to accrue enough resources so that you could make an impact.
That's
First, your
still
job is to
still how it
get,
is.
well, it seems like people now want to have as much of an impact as a millionaire, when nobody has any real reason to care about their voice.
Well, yeah, it's because like a lot of people talk out the ass, but like that's how it's always been. Everybody wants to be a millionaire. Even half the millionaires that are out there are talking out their ass. All right, we're seeing that with Elon and Twitter. All right, like Twitter is literally like we're talking like 50% loss in revenue within a year. That's like unheard of for a platform that's used by millions on the daily. Right? And why is that? Because Elon's a dog shit businessman. Okay, we got that fucking Titanic submarine. Okay, people that just jerked off fucking 250 grand into a bucket only to get turned into a fucking blood smoothie with four people they barely fucking know. Okay, yes, people who have money are fucking dumb too. Okay? So, like, again, if you don't, but that's not the point. The point is, you can be dumb if you make power work for you, then guess what? You're presenting something. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a dumb fuck. Okay? I think it's good for people to, like, push out that power. And at the end of the day, the cream rises to the fucking top, and power is gotten by ultimately people that then push it the way they want to do it. There are other way accesses to power at this point.
I
And
think that
someday I will be Charles Manson.
I think bad people rise to the top. People like that are like very comfortable like taking advantage of other people and stuff.
Mhm.
And so if you want to if you want to protect people from being taken advantage of, but you have to do that by getting like really powerful, that's like a really
It's doing
nearly
I think the issue with that is how well read are you on Machiavelli, right? Because I think that a lot of like that ideology of like shitting on people and like only promoting your own self-interest is inherent. It's very Machiavellian. I don't think
yeah.
Machiavellian tactics are congruent with Western society as a whole. Western liberal democracy, I think, ultimately like pushes Machiavellianism out. Elon Musk, I mean, other than the fact that he was born in South Africa and therefore couldn't be a president, I don't think even if he could run, he would win. I think that it's very unlikely because of the amount of hatred that he's generated and like that like continuous whatever, right? Bernie has a better chance. And Bernie is just some fucking weirdo who walks to work every fucking day. Okay? Also like very well into politics and blah, whatever, okay? But that's the thing is that the accesses to power, yes, there we have issues with like Citizens United and people being able to spend infinite amounts of money on their political campaigns, right? But I still think that the power of like charisma and like good education within your literature and what you're promoting, very similar to like the Chicago Black Panthers under Fred Hampton in the 1970s, I think that those accesses to power are very much there, as long as you start with a local approach and move upwards. My example here would be John Fetterman. Of course, unfortunately, getting a stroke, he was able to go ahead, turn local, hey, I'm going to listen to people. We're going to work through this. We're going to like learn about whatever. He went and became the mayor of York in Pennsylvania, a generally conservative area, pushing through like workers' consciousness shit. Pushed everything else up, gets into the Senate, has a stroke shortly before it, but it's aside from like the CIA giving him a fucking stroke,
What are
he fucking assumed power through having no power, and in fact the disintegration of it in the first place, and that in and of itself
okay?
is power. Machiavellianism does not work; pragmatism does.
It seems like to me people who are the most powerful have a very good understanding of the like ethics and rules of society and find a way to subvert them and make them work for them by understanding them but not
Mhm.
following through.
Yeah, I would say that's fair. I think it's reasonable. I think that yeah, like telling people what they want to hear is going to make you want to follow them, right? Just like Mr. Girl like assumed power for a long time over every conversation by saying, "I have the document that shall destroy destiny," and then it happened, and now
I don't think
we're here.
I don't actually think he thought it would destroy Destiny, but I don't. Nah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like it didn't do well enough, but I think it did a little bit. I think that was like ultimately the aims. Like you know, with some of the language of like, you know, I want what does accountability look like? It's like
Oh, it's
I don't
easy.
I don't know how much you guys have you looked at any of this stuff with Olay and iDubbbz recently?
Who's
Oh yeah,
Ole? Is that the guy who got
Um
canceled from the
his girl,
fight?
her Ole Ives Dub's
no,
girlfriend.
woman public defender. She was on the surfs and then she left it recently to do her own thing.
Oh, I
Um,
don't know.
okay, so basically, like iDubbbz, you know how iDubbbz did this whole like apology thing and the to like you know his like to people that he offended based on like the days when he was saying like N slur, F slur, and everything like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So he like ends up dropping off. He makes this apology video. Ends up dropping off his creator clash thing. He ends up losing, you know, $250,000 on it. He ended up going on this fucking podcast this week with this woman, Olayemi Asurin, I believe is her name. Um, and the whole time it was just him getting browbeaten. It felt like because it's like, oh, you did the best apology I've ever seen, but it wasn't good enough. And like that constant like feel of it's not good enough, like that is like I don't know, man. I think it's like just him like defanging his power and decaging his power and just I don't know. I think that
We were just
realistically
talking about
Yeah.
this.
people need
I
to
think,
chill, man.
I think that like apologies are, we're in an environment where to apologize or to admit any wrongdoing at all, we're in an environment where that's like completely disincentivized and it only can hurt you. The best thing to do is to be Trump, to double down on everything, to just be like and just say I did
You gotta be
nothing wrong.
mild. You gotta like you have to like you gotta be mild. Even within Machiavellian strategy, you can't burn every bridge you have. If you do that, then like you deplatform yourself.
I
Right?
don't think that I'm saying to burn every bridge. I'm saying double down. So like people, so you double,
But
so
doubling
like
down is burning bridges, though.
I don't
I
think
still
that apologize.
disagree.
No. I don't. I think that apologizing in this context. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so I think that we have a culture where if you apologize, so there will be hate in cancel culture type shit. There's a hate mob against you. You apologizing is more evidence for them to use of your wrongdoing, and it makes you look worse. And so like if this is an interpersonal between two people thing, then it's about burning bridges or not. But when it's like PR, doubling down is always the right, and it shouldn't be this way because it makes it so that we nobody can ever grow. And so doubling down is always the right thing to do PR wise. If you think otherwise, I think you're wrong, and I think you're more.
I think there's somewhere in between. So
Like, yeah.
if somebody criticized me for saying a slur in the past, I think I could just say something like, all right, well, obviously that's not how I feel now, but if you're upset by it
Yeah.
and you want to be hyper vigilant, go ahead, fucking watch me. Watch every move I make. If you see me being racist or shitty in a way that's unacceptable, call me out. Point out, see, he's still just the same as he was before. But unless you do, shut the fuck up about it. I did do that. I shouldn't have. I did, and I've moved on from it. If you want to be stuck on it and watch me, go ahead. But I'm not going to go anywhere
Oh, yeah,
because of
like
something that happened back then.
let's go
That's taking
further.
accountability.
Yeah, let's go. You are peaking so high right now.
Sorry, I moved forward. Is that better?
I figured out how to work compressors. We're gonna work on this. Okay, like I literally just figured it out. It's
My
amazing.
audio is a nightmare for me. Nobody's taught me how to do any of this shit.
You're a nightmare. I'll send you. I got a video for you. I literally figured it out today. Yeah, exactly. Except for the fact that it's like, yeah, like what happened? Like you had all those like tweets that people drug up about you, Drazi. I asked you about them. Has that been like a continued problem for you since those came up, or no? Like you just
No,
were like, oh yeah, no, exactly. They weren't
because
because
I
apologizing does work, and it just stop. It just ends. Like that's it. Like that's how it works. If you
well, I
go
don't
ahead
even
and
know
say
if I
sorry,
apologized. Did I? And
you
I
didn't.
just say like it was.
You
I was
apologized
obviously
if you
joking.
misled. Yeah, okay. You said it was obviously joking, but for people like that's still in its own way, kind of being like a, oh yeah, you know, I don't actually think I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about child molesters. I'm thinking about children that molest. Okay,
Yeah, I
there's
think that's a really
yeah.
funny
Yeah, I think like
phrase.
when you explain it correctly, that's fine. But like, yeah, it's like a, oh, I didn't want you to think of it this way. That is a soft apology.
Sure.
That is
Okay.
a type of apology. Am I not? Am I wrong about saying that?
I guess.
Like
I
it's
don't
like
think like I think apology is admitting wrongdoing, and is
Mhm.
that going on here? Like if you have like
I think
a
apology is admitting that you hurt people, not more than admitting wrongdoing. Like I can be totally in the right to somebody and apologize to them because it hurt them, right?
Apologies are telling other people. Also, apologies are just telling other people how to feel, and it really like you should change your behavior, but apologies don't really mean shit. And I think that people don't understand that either. Getting someone to apologize doesn't actually mean they've changed or anything. It just
Right,
means they're
yeah.
trying to tell you to stop feeling that way. And I think you should actually wait for people to like change their behavior.
Mm.
I don't.
I think it is a forgive but don't forget. It is a forgive but watch and become a shepherd in a large ways. I think that that's like something that we have to have as a goal. I think that makes for politer societies where it's like, okay, cool, this guy, maybe they agree with this thing, they're going to do well. That's harm reduction. It's like, somebody's like, hey, I don't want to keep tending, this like or like curating a flaw, like a fomenting of hatred or whatever. That in and of itself is harm reduction, and harm reduction is based as fuck.
If if you think of that as an apology, then I would say that's acceptable. I gave an example earlier where I was shitty to my wife when I was trying to say something that bothered me, and then the next day I told her I shouldn't have done these things, but I did mean these things. If you consider those to be apologies, then I'm okay with that. But I don't like the "I'm sorry, it won't happen again" kind of bullshit. Let's on that side, I'm totally with Smeth there.
Okay,
I
but
think
like,
that
but what if it
that's
doesn't? But what if it's like it doesn't happen again? Right? Is that not like? Is it not a
that
good
that it,
thing?
that's the real apology is not
Okay,
doing the
so
thing
so
again.
yeah, okay, so then what is like? All right, so what's the goal? Somebody says something, you take them at face value, and then if they fuck up, then you go ahead and lambast and remove. That's it. That's what accountability is. It's simple. Okay,
Yeah, I
because
agree. That's what I'm saying. I agree
I
with that. I just
yeah,
don't agree with the
I like maybe
I
it's like the
I
latent.
feel I'm gonna double down. I think that
Go ahead.
you guys are totally wrong. I think we are in a culture, at least I think in small scale and interpersonal relationships and stuff like that. Like admitting your wrongdoing is important for growth in your relationships. I don't think that in large people are concerned with growth in your relationships. People don't care about you growing at all. If you fuck up and you admit it, that means that there is proof that you did fuck up. It's an admission to to the jury of the public opinion, and now that is now
Yeah,
even
and now
it's
you
even
become
worse.
scrutinized by it. Like that's fine. That's fine. You get
No, I think
scrutinized after.
to admit it, it makes it worse for you. Like
Well,
you
no,
have to.
well, so that's the thing. If you're gonna be just if all right,
we're blurring the lines between accountability and apologies here, big
yeah,
time.
No, I'm saying what I'm saying that neither accountability or apologies, whatever works better and is better, like neither of those is appreciated or functional within the current climate we have.
I mean that's fine, but like I mean it doesn't matter. Like why? Like if we're gonna be making, you're making this hypothetical argument that might doesn't make right, right? Like where it's like we're going to assume that righteousness
No,
exists
I
on.
think
No, no,
might
no.
does
No.
make right.
You do think that that's how it works. You
It
don't agree.
shouldn't,
It shouldn't, right? Why shouldn't it?
because if might makes right, it means that bullies can do whatever the fuck they want, and the more abusive you are, the more power you're going to accumulate too,
Mhm.
and it also makes it so that weak people are. It just makes
So
ultimately
you're
always going to blame the victim in every scenario.
So you have like this miniaturized view of what might is, in my opinion. Okay, might can be a democratic thing that a lot of people agree on. Okay, I don't give a shit if you got 1 GigaChad, all right, and 10 like weasel internet e-boys and shit. All right, those 10 internet e-boys are probably gonna take out the buff GigaChad. Right, because numbers, and this is like part of like herd morality, right? Which is actually
Yeah,
something
that
I'm
the
really.
numbers is might. Like so, you have a
But
massive
those
audience that's
numbers are
might.
might, but those aren't. That isn't might. That's concentric to a single individual, but rather displaced over other things, right?
Each one of those individuals, by being part of the collective,
But
has
that's
now
not
increased their might.
that's not necessarily bullying. If the collective is telling somebody who is like being an
It doesn't.
aggressive
Yeah, it's not
bully,
always bullying.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not
Like
always bullying. Just because you're
so is
bitey doesn't mean
NATO.
you're always bullying.
Yeah, so is NATO bullying Russia, or did Russia invade Ukraine and then NATO's
I don't
defending
fucking
Ukraine?
know.
Right? Exactly.
I think I don't know. Like
But so this is what the point is. Might isn't this unilateral like towards like somebody exacting, like there are many forms of power, right? There's
I'm
soft
not saying
power.
that. I'm not
Okay.
saying I'm not
There's
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Okay, but like the way that you're talking about this makes it sound like you're saying might makes right is always bad. That's what it sounds like
No,
you're saying.
it is a no. It is bad for might to always make right. Yes,
Okay.
I think
But
that we
so
need to have a
what about
society where if you are not mighty, you are not powerless against the mighty.
okay, so but that's the thing though. That's called democracy. Therefore democracy has might and that might then makes right.
This is
Okay,
really
so
akin to the
wait, so
survival of the fittest
you're
discussion.
doing this in a
No,
circular way where
no, I'm doing
you're
herd
saying
mentality versus like herd mentality or slave
you're
morality
you
effectively.
have a what is the word? A
Gratuitous probably.
no, you have a
Cyclical.
yeah, well there's yeah, if so it like you're defining it like
I'm
by its
defining
the
might
result.
as power.
If you succeed in your goal, it means you were mighty.
Hmm.
Okay, so then right makes might and might makes right. So it really doesn't mean anything in that like
Okay, but like I think that the way that you're describing right is as righteous but morally righteous, right? When you're saying right, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I think like people have deserve like human rights. So
Okay,
like
but
if
and that's like the right as in good, not right as in like establishment of credo or law or whatever.
Can I maybe draw?
no, okay, okay.
Okay.
There are the point of bringing up might makes right is that there are different ways to define right. Okay, so if who the fuck just joined here?
Somebody joined.
You can join. Okay,
Sorry.
Sarah's joined. Okay. Um there
Yeah,
are
I'm
different
sorry.
ways you can define right, and
Uh,
the way that right is defined. Oh, she left.
yeah, didn't want to come up.
Oh,
Um.
okay. The way that wait, the right the wait, give me a second. The way that
Go
right
ahead.
is defined with might is right is that it is the way you're defining it.
Hmm.
Um but also there is another type of right where it's just we've decided that people like deserve like this like without any power, they deserve these basic rights.
Yeah,
And
which is
so say like there are two people
yeah, moral,
like
ethical
going
righteousness is what you're
so
describing, right?
um
Like moral, ethical righteousness, not just the right that comes from like power and whatnot.
yeah, I mean, I just think that, if you deserve like yeah, I think like human rights is what I'm saying is right.
Yes, yes, correct, and I would agree with you. And the establishment of human rights comes from human, well, herd mentality, as well as like technically slave morality, as Nisha would describe it, right? Rather than like individual like morality, which is like kind of closer to what Machiavellian would do. But like I think that when you're talking about this might makes right stuff, the connotation will always be to Machiavellianism. But I think or Machiavellian tendencies of you assume power and you take power just to go ahead and express your will, right? I
Right.
don't think that that's necessarily the best, but if you had a person who was willful, who was good, and then gained that power, and then just destroyed that power in his own hands. There's the one
Right.
king that like a king that like ascends to
I know,
power
agree.
and then like goes in and says no, I'm going to set up elections for everything, and then by the end of his life abdicates the throne. He's set up a positive democracy, people are able to get their voices out. That is
Yeah,
an
so what he's
example.
done yeah, but what he's done is he's subverted the might. So like but like so the only people that are allowed
No,
to
he
no,
hasn't
he's taken
subverted
the
might,
might.
he's made power. He
Yeah,
made
he's
power
you're
as
saying
something
that
that
the
isn't a singular focus but
yes,
rather an
he's given
externalized focus.
he's like what is like he's fucking
Mhm.
given distributed the might. So like by
Yes.
making democracy, you're distributing the might amongst a bunch of people.
Hmm.
But like so yeah, and I like so yeah,
Which goes
like
to herd
if
mentality,
you
which
call
is
that
what you
yes,
think is good.
so if you say like so I am talking in the context of between two like individuals doing a thing. So like so let's say that you are like a way bigger streamer than me. That means that if we're arguing, no matter what, I'm always going to look wrong because more people are going to agree with you.
Okay.
Okay. And so that is the type of thing where if we're talking about I'm saying that you are doing something bad to me, more
Mhm.
people are going to agree that you are not doing something bad to me because nobody gives a shit about me, and I'm the enemy because like nobody cares about me. So that means like so I don't
So, but
think that
you're
means you're actually right. It just means you win. So in
yeah.
the way that you're using right, you're saying right equals a win. But when I use right, I'm saying like is actually justified, morally justified.
Okay, but so here's the issue. Basically, what you're saying is that at any given point in time, somebody who is smaller is always on some platform of righteousness. When you say that, you're taking away agency from people who are smaller. In the same note, where you should be critiqued for what you say. If Mr. Girl had a slam dunk, knock it out the park sort of thing, right? I'm pretty sure people like they'll probably still be chill with Destiny, but they probably wouldn't be mad at Mr. Girl for wasting our collective time for 5 months, right? Like
I
I
don't
think that
think
that's
he.
a fair thing. Just saying.
Well, so why don't we put the
People
responsibility on
wanted
your
him.
hand?
There were
If you
so
felt
many
like he
people that
wasted your
wanted
time,
him. No, there
if
were
you
so many
feel like he
people that
wasted,
wanted him to do well, and Mr. Girl by doing this has made Destiny harder to go ahead and attack now.
um, that may or may not be true. I'm not convinced either way.
Yeah, I know. I
But
think that's like a not a very highly convincing argument either, but I still agree with you there.
yeah, don't. I don't agree with the way you're using right. I think that there are like we on the internet we have no rules. Nothing. Everything goes as long as it's not illegal. So no matter what you do, it's right as long as you're powerful on the internet. Even though we have these moral rules that we go by with most of society, those don't apply on the internet because like it only matters if you can get away with it. And
Thinking
I mean
about this.
that exists on in real life, but like
Mhm.
we just don't really police people's behavior online. We just expect chaos. We expect you to be the most degenerate, awful, most foul person you could possibly fucking be on the internet.
I
It's
think that's
just
one access and lever to power. I don't think that like I mean, what about people that just play games or people that just like, fucking make terrariums or like do
sure.
blacksmithing? Like there are multiple
I think he
accesses
means like
to
this
power.
part of the internet.
Yeah, but
I
that's the
just
thing.
mean
This part of the internet is such a small microcosm of
I
like the internet. And I think if you want me to be honest with you, you want to know what I think Mr. Girl's thing should have been
But
about?
that you're wait, no, I don't want you to be honest with me because you're just distracting me from the
I
you're
know.
just completely taking away from the point that I was making. Like, sure, yeah,
Mhm.
not all people. What the fuck are you doing, Sarah? Sarah, you know that we're live right now?
Sorry.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was just concerned that you didn't know we're live. So as long as you know, okay.
Yeah, also
Um,
Smeth hates women.
If I may here,
no,
I think that
no.
I've been quiet for like 10 minutes while you guys go round and round, and I just want to try to bridge this gap because it seems
Okay.
really
There's
clear
no
to
gap
me.
to be bridged. I'm just arguing to argue because you both agree on the topic. So I figured like you wanted to have actual content which causes drama because friction creates good content. It forces you to go ahead and become stronger with your own arguments as well as others. So don't think you're bridging a gap. I don't need a gap
Well, yeah.
bridging.
Well,
Not from
I
you.
think
I
we
think
should.
you're a
I think
pussy.
we should
You're
act.
a pussy little bitch, and your tank top sleeves, your tank top straps are thinner than mine, and that makes you
Yeah,
weaker than me.
that makes me sexier than you.
Oh, that's fine. All right. You can be sexy all you want. I'm
Oh,
handsome. My grandma tells me that.
I
I
think that you
I
shouldn't.
really thought
I
you were going
think
to contest that.
I think
Oh
you
God.
shouldn't actually like try to like pretend you believe shit you don't just for like good
No,
content.
I
I
do
think good
actually
content comes.
kind of believe what I'm saying, but the thing is, like,
Okay, it sounds like you do.
I understand what you're saying too, but like, it's like I'm trying to like get you to get a little energetic with it and also challenge you in general. Like, I don't want to make a consensus. I already know where I'm at because like I have like a very long thing I've been doing on Machiavelli and how I don't think it works in the modern society. So no, I don't necessarily I agree that might makes right on as a facade, but I think it gets like really complicated and convoluted the further down you go with it, where it's like ultimately it is not the only function. You also still need to go ahead and have some agreement, or at least enough people that agree with you. Welcome in, Sammy Hyde, I believe. School shooter,
That's the
right?
part I was trying to bridge here. All I wanted to say is that the whole idea is like survival of the fittest. It doesn't necessarily mean who's the strongest, it's whatever's best suited for its environment. However, because people are the way that they are. People with disabilities and such are not best suited for regular society. So they have appealed to the people that have the ability to take up the might for them, and have done so in a good enough way to where everything's handicap accessible. There is they can get funds they need without having to do the things. So while you may not be the best suited for your environment on the zoomed out version, from the zoomed out view, however, you are suited to appealing to those in your environment to make the environment more suited for you.
But that's not even an appeal from disabled people. That's an appeal from liberal democracy to begin with, right? Because the appeal of liberal democracy is that if you still have value and use to a system, then you go ahead and do that. That value and use can be sympathetic within your own family, because most people don't want to just leave babies off on the cliff and shit. I'm down with it. I hate babies. I think they're terrible. All right. I think we should be able to abort until you get to the mirror stage, which means some people never gonna get there. But regardless, yeah, like that's exactly where I'm at. That's like the thing is that's the consecration of Western liberal democracy is saying, oh, we can still use you for something. As long as you have use, you have value. As long as you have value, you have power. And it just depends on the power that you have. Might makes right, but power in and of itself is not a singular, like, single thing. And at the end of the day, a good dictator that abdicates power by the end of his lifetime is probably going to be better than even democracy, technically. But that's a tanky argument I'm not willing to make.
Yeah, but you're saying abdicating power, and so like you're that abdicating power, like distributing the might is like a subversion of might.
Yeah.
So so I like might does technically like I think in any capitalist or society, might's always going to like make you win, but like we need to protect people against the mighty.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that what you need to do is like actually get people powered enough to like understand like one like class things like class consciousness as well as like collective action, and do it in such a way that actually
Sure.
allows for them to build loci of power rather than to hamper those things which are already mighty, because those things that are already mighty are like hampered. You've done
Sure,
nothing
but
at
I
the
mean,
other
that's
end of
not
it,
what I'm
because
not
then you have
saying that
somebody
that's
else
I'm
within
not
that
arguing
power.
with that. I'm not saying that like it could even go either way. It could be by hampering the mighty, like you could be having like laws that say you can't fucking shoot poor people, or you could also make it so that poor people like, are protected. Like it's
No,
just I don't
poor
understand what
people
the fuck
should.
you're talking.
We
Let's
have that. It's
stop
called the Second
empowering the
Amendment.
weak.
It's called the
Like,
Second Amendment.
stop
We give
empowering the weak.
everyone a gun and we teach them how to goddamn use it. That's the Second Amendment, and that's how we win. Okay, USA,
Thank you,
USA,
Rez. Rez, I was just gonna
USA.
say, Smeth, stop trying to give everybody a fucking shield. Give everybody a sword.
Okay.
We don't need
I
this
I
weak,
okay.
powerless shit.
Okay.
Give
Um
everybody a
I
sword.
You guys are framing it like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Rezi, you came in here saying some shit has nothing to do with what I was saying, and
Look,
now Sleepy,
wow.
you're fucking trolling.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. Oh, I'm sorry that I'm being like fucking spiced.
What do you mean
The fucking
trolling?
you are literally the tomato. Okay, you and Drazi are the tomato and the bread without even the garlic butter being put on it. Yes, Drazi is the bread without garlic butter. He's an ashamed to his own kind. And you are the sumptuous tomato sauce, Smith. But I'm the hot pepper. And I'm here to just I don't know, I'm here to fuck shit up. What do you want from me?
Well,
I say give everybody a sword. Also, Google USS Liberty.
Wait, oh my god, there's several other people in here.
Tuna chip just popped in.
What's up, Tuna?
Hello, Sarah.
What's up? What's up?
Hey, Tuna.
We're just yelling right now. I'm like,
Yeah, I heard
I'm
some yelling.
I'm trying to get Smith to fucking embrace his power.
We're trying to get Smeth to do some content here instead of just being
No, I'm not
boring.
even trying to get him to do content. I just wanted to have like, I watched him and Drazi agree about things for like 5 minutes too long, which is about 6 minutes that I watched. Before I was like, let me come on. Because that's what I do. Like, I don't know. I don't like people. I think agreeing is fun, but it's like, this is a cool topic.
Well, here, speaking of agreeing being fun, I want to say, because I saw the might makes right thing. I heard you guys talk for a bit, and I saw a couple of people agreeing on things. Might makes, sentence over. Might makes.
Yeah.
That's just a fact of nature. Anytime that
it's-
you are grouping together and you're saying we need to protect people from the mighty, who protects them from the mighty?
The mighty.
Mightier. The mighty in
That's right.
union, it's all about creating like a super person by association, but might makes.
And
There's
that
no
is why-
avoiding it.
And that is why.
Here's the thing. I said
I
this in
suggest to everybody-
Drazi's chat. Humans are the mightiest. We are the sole survivors of this world. We literally made computers by like taking rocks and teaching them how to think with lightning. Fuck trees. We are the superior predators. And it's our job to go
Okay,
around and
whoa,
kill each other.
What if the computers take over
Be mature
and
here.
you lose
Trees are
the
your
AI
lungs.
surpass us?
Trees are a part of our body, just the same way as our muscles, just the same way as the food we eat. We need to like nurture the earth in such a way that we stay healthy and powerful in the way that we are. Trees got us where we are, so we can't just say fuck trees. That's retarded. That's as retarded as saying that might doesn't create right.
I do want to offer an alternative thing, okay? Which is where what we do is we all pray for me. You give me a few of your firstborns, and I assume my 15-foot tall shadow.
Are you Rumpelstiltskin?
My 15-foot
Be
tall
careful.
shadow demonic phase. After which point, when I have that, I will be raining chaos across all of humanity until there are only half
I'll
of
be good with
you left.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Don't worry about it.
You know what? These are not just. Not only are these thinner, but this is a woman's tank top.
That's funny. I'm not
I was
even
gonna
wearing
say I
it
really
at
like
all.
that tank top.
There's no such thing as women's clothing or men's clothing.
Oh my god, that is the most based thing I've heard in a very long time.
I'm wearing fucking women's bike shorts because they have pockets in them. They don't give men's bike shorts.
Prove it.
I'm not taking my pants off on stream for you. Okay?
Well, then I don't believe that you're wearing women's bike shorts.
Oh, I don't care if you don't believe me or not. You would have to take me at my assumptives, but like, yes, I am
I don't.
saying that. The thing, dude, I don't like. It's the bulge issue. Like that's my problem. I like the fact that it lifts and separates my balls.
Thank you much.
But like,
You know what fixes that? Gaffer's tape.
I'm good. I kind of like
I'm
just
telling
having a
you,
thing that
gaffers
holds my
tape it
dick out
up.
in front of me. I just want something that holds my dick out in front of me. It keeps it cool and everything. It's great. It makes me more mighty.
She's telling you to tuck.
I mean, that's fine.
Oh, he knows.
Yeah. It's just
He's-
doesn't.
He knows how to do the. He knows how to do the
I know how to
Carlson.
do a lot of shit.
I tried to do it once. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you gotta
Smeth,
like
do I
learn how to
need-
twist your shit
Do I
around.
need to come up
Like,
there and
that's
teach you how to tuck?
No.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm a big on like I still like leave my balls out, right? But like doing like the fucking flip of the sausage and everything.
Oh, look at
that
you,
goes to the
Mr.
pinch,
I
yeah,
have
they're-
balls.
Yeah, I got big fucking balls. Okay, they drag on the fucking ground when I'm walking by if I'm not wearing fucking bike shorts underneath my shit.
By the way, I did like a shitload of Molly, so I'm not sure if I'm even making sense.
It's okay, you're doing fine.
You're doing great.
Smith, where are you in like the spectrum, like the
Autistic
twink to
Yeah,
masculinity side? I thought you were going for the more macho alpha, and then you gave up.
Are you in a cave? What is happening?
Yeah, have you seen?
Well, let this woman be in a cave if she wants. You get to look like you're in a cave. She gets to sound like she's in a cave. Okay.
What do you mean? I sound like I'm in a cave.
It's just
Yeah,
a lot of
deep
reverberance.
echo.
Don't worry
You
about
sound you sound like you're in like a
it. It's
cathedral.
not. Fucking ignore it.
Smeth is desisting transition as we speak.
Is this
No,
better?
so like here's the thing that I love about this panel, because I'm looking at it. We've got Drazi, who looks like a manager of a Hot Topic that sells like anime themed apparel. Then
Molester.
over here we've got Reservoir, who looks like literally just hangs out with oogles and goes to like a bunch of squats and like crust punk shows. Then we've got Sarah, who's just like hanging out. Then we've got
No
Smeth,
comment on
who's,
Sarah.
who like
Yeah, easy there.
Yeah. And then,
Then we've got, like,
then we got
Smeth,
Steve,
who's,
the
like-
biggest simp on the internet for women. You fucking slut.
Who?
well, I was gonna say Smeth just kind of looks like, you
You're not a
know,
slut. I don't
some
know
random
you.
person that you would see on Grindr with like a
know.
profile picture that says can't host.
Mhm.
And then down in the corner you've got discount Nick Fuentes, who just went to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, he does look like kind of.
It's white hair.
Oh, boy.
Okay, You want to talk about discount anything? Don't make me talk with your discount, Sleepy. We're gonna move on. You can't even
Sleepy,
put your
Come
fucking
on, come
camera
on.
on.
You wanted to do
me and
Molly
Tuna
with
have
Put the
me and Tuna
camera
have made
on,
that joke.
Sleepy. Show the people what you're hiding.
Me and Tuna have made this joke about he kind of does look like Nick, like more than I do.
A little bit.
Kind of looks like Nick.
I don't know
Fuentes
how
a
I
little
didn't
bit.
see it before. Now I can't unsee it.
I have
God
the
damn it.
genetic makeup.
He even talks like
Printed.
Nick Fuentes. Like, listen
I
to
had
him.
chicken and waffles
Stop
this
it.
morning.
I love
No,
tuna.
it's-
Don't ruin tuna for
I'm gonna
me.
start
I
talking
love
like Nick
tuna
Fuentes
too.
if Sleepy keeps this shit up.
I'm not gonna come do Molly with you, Tuna.
You that was already true before. Flaky.
No. I was going to do it.
Flaky.
I was gonna do it after I hung out with Salvo, and then I kind of blacked out.
Did you hang out with him?
That's what happened. That's called toxoplasmosis. So what happens when cats piss on your face?
You actually do sound like Nick Fuentes. Holy shit!
Alright, I'm done doing the ooze.
When
I
are you
do
gonna start
wonder where he's
screaming
from.
"Total E-girl death"?
Oh yeah, next. Smith, now that you're done with the article, right? Like you were talking about this on the stream, right? You're not doing Mr. Girl content after this conversation. That's another reason why I wanted to come in here. Because I'm like, hey, this is the last time I can yell at you about this. And I haven't even reacted to it.
I would do it if someone made me, but
Please don't.
like if someone really wanted to, but
No, Smith, you
Yeah.
make way more fun content. Okay, just do more poop
Yeah.
type bits. That was
Yeah.
that's the best video. I love that one. You do better with the Adult Swim shit. It is what it is. I think you do really good, like entertaining weird shit like that. And I just want to come yell at you about that a little bit too.
Smith, I want you to be a part of my sketch comedy thing. Me and
All
Sleepy
right.
talked about it.
Yeah,
Oh, dude, you
we've got
absolutely should
a
be
bunch of
called
stuff.
Pinocchio.
Sleepy also added me to her band, Mind Rapist,
Mm,
Thought rapist.
Thought
that's-
Rapist.
You might want to workshop. that a little bit.
Hey, I came up with it when I was like 16. It's a play on
Rape's
mindfuck.
coming back. Rape is coming back. Don't worry.
I don't think so.
In
I
a
don't
big
think it's
way.
making, I don't think it's coming back.
Now you're really not
I
beating the
really
sounds
don't
like
think
Nick
with a
Fuentes
mustache
act.
like that, Tuna, you can't be making claims like that online. As your publicist, I must say, please make it easier on mom and dad. Okay, just make it easier on us.
Tuna,
I'm glad that you at least
Who's
admit that you're
mom?
my publicist now.
I mean, yeah, it's like a joke.
Tuna, I know who we can cast Smeth as in one of our sketches.
I
Smith
already
could-
have him cast as a bum.
I was gonna say Smeth could be the guy that goes around and thanks black people for their service.
That's a
With
great
the
idea.
Black Lives Matter t-shirt, yeah. Thank you
Yeah,
for your
'cause-
service.
The idea is just like this random white guy walks around and like walks up to black people and it's just like, it's really hard. Like, I want to thank you for your service. Like this war
White
on
guilt-
black people that
White guilt's
America's got
strongest
going on.
savior.
Yeah.
For every 50 black people that I thank, I get to dread one lock.
You can just do it, dude. Just fucking be on a If Katie can do it and proclaim herself,
Move to Israel. You got
you
this.
can do whatever you want.
Did she
Alright?
reclaim herself?
Shalom. Yeah, she reclaimed herself to be queen of mid-white girls, but like
Of the
it's-
Israelites, yes.
I would say that. I think
That's
The
where I
black
thought he was going with
Israelite.
it.
I'm gonna say this. I don't. Most white women are pretty, but a lot of Jewish women I find extremely pretty.
It's propaganda. That's the IDF.
It's fine.
Jewish women, even okay, the IDF ones look
I
white.
know.
No,
I know what makes my
real
dick-
Jewish
I'm
women.
not lying.
I don't like
Yeah,
white
but-
women. I like the whitest
I like
women.
the
I've married an
secular-
albino.
Yeah. Oh
Woman.
yeah. No, I cannot.
Well,
stand
we
it.
all know my
girls
Explain
are
your
like.
black girl-
There
yeah
is nothing
we all
bad
know that
about
my
white
opinion
girls,
about
Sarah.
black
I'm
women.
sorry, like,
Yeah, I was
for-
gonna say,
Yeah.
explain. Wait, hold on. We
Like-
need to know about black throat. Give us your Ebenezer
It's not-
Scrooge deep throat concept.
It's not about deep throat, okay? It's just okay. This is something.
Is it
Okay,
about
this
the
is
lips?
okay. This is
Yes.
something that
Is
okay.
it about
Are you gonna
lips?
fucking listen to me or not? Okay, this is something I've thought because I've only like gotten head like from 2 black women, okay, and I was like, oh, it was like way better, and then I heard some black men saying that like it's common among like some black men they just believe like it's a fact that black women are better at giving head, and I was like, you know what, you're right. I think is true, and it's actually like statistically, I think they give less head, but like I just think they just have like better mouths for it. It just feels better.
No.
The mouth feel, but in inverse.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In my
here's the
experience,
thing.
overweight women give the best head.
Yeah.
Tuna's been so obsessed with like figuring
Hunger.
out if Smeth is like serious about this
One who's
question or
most
not.
eager to
that he's
please
asked me
gives the best
twice
head.
to ask Smeth if he was real about it.
Well, no, here's the thing. So Smeth has a couple of features that make me think that he would never sleep with a black woman, but that he
Being
would
his
talk
boyfriend's
about
one
it
of them.
way
Let me
more
zoom in
than
on him.
anyone else. He's got
Yeah.
the exact sort of like tanned tank top. Like you can see that he's been
Tan?
wearing that tank top outside.
Tan?
Tan's
Tan?
not the right
I'm
word.
darker
Pink.
than him.
Okay.
No, what you're thinking is
not.
that it's
What
been
are you
on him so
talking
long, it's
about?
just friction burns.
Like I am
true.
unironically like one of the darkest people on this panel, and that's
And
saying
I'm lit.
the rest
I'm
of
lit
you.
to be like pink, like I just like shed my skin. You know.
I don't mean tan is the wrong word. I obviously meant tan the way that sick gets tan sometimes. Deep, disgustingly pink tan. Like that's the thing I'm thinking of. But yeah, I guess it could
He's
be
just under
rug burn. That's
bisexual
an easy-
lighting. That's
Dick
it.
doesn't get pink, he reddens.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
Is it true?
I turned brown. That's the black German in me.
Or olive king. True.
It conquered most of the Polish that's in me. So
Well,
least it was
Smeth
pink.
with that lighting just looks like a like advertisement for like this is like somebody 3 years before HIV took their life.
You know what? I'm not gonna say anything mean about any of you guys. Fuck that.
All right.
I've
Fuck
not
you.
said anything mean about you, even though you drink
Okay,
Flint
fat.
water.
Whoa! You think that being a victim of AIDS is being compared to that is something mean? Let's check your biases, sir.
It means that
check
you
your
fucked,
bias.
doesn't it? Or you have a debilitating blood disease kid that you had to get like blood transfusions. And then you
That's
got
getting
it.
laid.
Here we
That's
go.
getting laid.
Yeah, that's not the good way to get HIV. Otherwise, you got laid, bruh. Duh.
It doesn't
Okay,
mean you
two
wanted
positives.
to.
I tested positive for having sex.
Also, AIDS. It's just like right after.
AIDS doesn't mean you wanted to get laid, though.
Yeah,
But
no,
Yeah,
okay.
especially
no,
if you're
it
like
doesn't.
that young.
You could get it from blood transfusions, dude. You can get it from all sorts of shit. Obviously, it doesn't mean you want. No one wants. Well, no, that's not true. Most people don't want AIDS. Okay,
Yes, speak for
but
yourself.
Yeah,
Go
I
on.
was,
I will speak for myself, Sarah. You have now gone down several steps because
I
don't
get
trust
tested
you.
every 2 months for
Okay.
AIDS. I do not want it. I am on PrEP. I
That is
feel
the
like
room, by the way. That is absolutely the boring room of a person that is like, AIDS might spice it up. That might be what spices up my life a little bit.
Yeah, wow, that's sad.
you know, maybe I could hang the like positive test results over here on this blank wall.
You could put them
Yeah.
behind. You
We
could
can't
frame
see the
them
blank
like a
Next to your high school
frame them
diploma.
like a degree. If you became like a gay sex therapist.
There's the AIDS positive, and then like the Constitution that you got on like your 6th grade field trip to Washington
Do you
D.C.
want to hear the worst thing I just thought? What if like you did that and like you were like accomplished about it? Fuck, I fucking forgot the joke. It was really, really bad. I'm really sorry.
Okay, this is what it is. You got.
If
Okay,
you were like
went
so AIDS positive, you're AIDS positive.
you were in alpha delta fagda, and then there's a capital T in delta. You get it's Grinder University. It's got the logo, but it's got laurels around the Grinder mask. I'm making it. I'm photoshopping it. I'm sending it to your address. I already have it. Sleepy gave it to me. Don't ask how she got it.
Mm-hmm.
I found it on Kiwi Farms.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Are you okay? You stopped paying attention. What's going on, Drazi? Look me in the eye.
My wife was messaging
okay?
me. I was just reading
I was
it.
gonna
Is she
say, was
okay?
it that Flint
That's
tab?
like not the right tone to say that. My wife was
She okay?
messaging me. She's never messaging again. Like
You can say no.
I'm sorry. I don't want that to come into reality.
No, I was gonna
Blink
say,
twice if you're okay, Drowsy.
she's just having a rough day, so I was despite the fact that I'm streaming, I decided to go ahead and read the message anyway.
Oh, we're having a cat competition.
No, he's just needy right now. He doesn't really like being held. The other one does, but I don't know where he is.
So,
But
Drazi,
he's
what's
dead
your
anyways.
opinion on fluoride?
It depends on the kind. I'm not a super big fan of it being in the water. I'm not a fan of putting anything in water. Really, we should just get. It's not like necessary for it to be cleaned. It's kind of weird to put chemicals into drinking water. And think
It
fit.
should go the other way around, right? You should
Get
have
all
we
the
should have like
hydrogen
Brita
oxygen
filter,
out of
but
the
it
water.
fluorinates your water.
Well,
Yeah.
I just think that it's weird. Like some places they put lithium in the water too.
Ooh, that's
Yeah, that's
Did,
weird.
Where'd
did
you
you
do
know
that?
that every municipal water supply tests positive for Prozac because it's secreted into urine and it can't be drawn out?
I just think that it's bad to like treat everybody with a one size fit all solution like that. It's very weird, and you're definitely gonna have some kind of negative effects.
Well, if you live in like an old city, so if you like live in Boston or New York or like Detroit or something, the pipes there are made out of like a substandard type of metal, and instead of putting in new pipes, what they do is they actually pipe through an anti-corrosive, and it'll sometimes come through the water and make it smell like kind of acidic. It'll come out like almost brownish. It's gross.
In those
Yeah.
areas,
You're
you want to let the water
You're
run a
drinking
little.
like you're drinking
you
like
said about
really
the,
horrible drink now.
Also, I
The
have
thing
to
you
go.
said about
Smith, thank you for
Prozac coming
having
through
me.
in the water.
Pussy. Bye, friends.
If
You're
I
great.
went to
Bye.
Yeah.
see you, brother. If I went to a
abrupt.
city that had a lot of meth users, could I basically get free ADHD by just like boiling water down to a dust? Do you think that I could get free methamphetamines?
Oh, probably. Like, the water in Falls River, where like I'm from, they tested it, and there's like estrogen in the water there.
Okay, some
like,
chemicals
estrogen
can be
all
sorted
over.
out, some can't. Also, to meth, maybe because there's the highest concentration of meth in pee. I actually watched this
Yeah.
woman tell a story about how she got addicted to drinking her own piss. She stopped smoking meth and just started eating it. And then the second piss after she ate the meth had like the best concentration, and it was way, way stronger than like smoking it or anything.
Where is she now?
That's crazy.
Now she's
you
a
know that-
successful stand-up comedian who doesn't drink her own pee.
Did you know that most estrogens actually left through the body through urine? Like,
Yes.
that's how most of it
Everything-
from birth control.
Everything good
Which is
comes
why you
out.
cycle it, right? You gotta
Yeah.
cycle it.
That's where they're making the frogs game meme came from, because estrogen
just
wasn't
picked
getting
up-
filtered out of
I
the
just
water and it's
picked up
making
on
frogs
my
hermaphroditic.
That's actually not where it comes
Yeah.
from. It actually is not where it comes from. It comes from there was a pesticide that actually was there are frogs that there is a gender triggering mechanism, and this chemical is triggering this in some there's Oki's Weird Stories. He has a like a really great video about it. And he does an interview with the whistleblower. And so this is like a real thing. But it became like a big like meme. This is a specific pesticide that was having a specific effect on like a specific like group of like amphibians or something. But yeah, it comes from a real thing.
Well,
Not
think-
gay, not
I
gay,
think
but gender.
Tuna was in
sex
my
change.
group chat when I was reading the because I'm like really fucking autistic, so I read like all like the water reports and stuff for like areas and shit. And there was a report that came out like around the time that I was born, because like birth control is like super popular there, and like Falls River is like a huge fucking runoff area for like all of the Boston like trash and like everything else, and Smeth's old career and like everything just ends up in the water there. So like there was a report, and it showed that like almost all of the fish there are like partially or fully intersex.
Yeah.
And then like it's also affecting like the people, and like we have a high population of intersex people. And then I was like sitting there, I'm like, well, god fucking damn, because I was born intersex and now I hate fucking tap water.
I'm not convinced.
Fish.
I'm not
This
convinced.
is why people are saying that you're serving up fish, bitch.
Hey, Smith,
You look
somebody
at
in your
fish as
chat
hell.
wants to know your opinion on fat black women.
Well, I don't think that this is the right. I don't think this is the right environment to have such a serious discussion. I'm not.
Do you think they give head just as well, or?
If he's saying black
Okay,
women
real
get better
quick.
had fat black women are going to be twice as good, guaranteed.
I'm putting your ass to the test. I'm saying it right now. Name 5 Lizzo songs. Go.
I know, but the one where she has to pull up her pants.
I don't know any.
But I don't know. But like I know that every time I've
flute?
heard Lizzo, I've liked it, but I can't.
She got the one where she's talking about where the hell her phone's at.
It doesn't come to mind. Every time I've ever heard her, which is not a lot, I've liked it.
I feel like we should, Tuna, me and you should just do a thing where it's just Smeth on the street and like walking up to people with a microphone, like a newscast, but just like asking them, like walking up to like random people like downtown Boston and being like, "Do you think Ice Spice has Down syndrome?"
We can
Why?
get that. It wouldn't be just one question because that's the thing that people were talking about online before already. They're just
Yeah.
that's just a question because of the fuck. Well, specifically, it would be. It's connected to a series of questions related to Down syndrome, which is when we think of people with Down syndrome, you always see representations of white people with Down syndrome. So what do black people look like with Down syndrome? And then there's a classic joke of like, you never see Chinese people or Korean people with Down syndrome. There's that one comedian, Tommy Chang, said you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And it's one of those things where there was a joke that happened on a podcast about it. Don't worry about it. The Down syndrome question needs to be asked, and Smeth's going to get to the bottom of it. And obviously, Boston is where the answers lie.
That's where we're gonna get the best. We're gonna go right to like Alston, right in the middle of the like shittiest parts of the city, where like all of the cars, like it just stops being English, and all of the car lots just have signs in Arabic.
We should
And
go
like,
to Northampton and ask people on the street about period blood.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Because every time I've ever been in Northampton, you
there's
cannot
just
walk.
tampons and shit there.
You cannot walk down the street without smelling period blood, and I think it's just like it's like
Oh.
it's like there's such like a strong culture of like free bleeding, and it's like so like extreme, like yeah, like feminist
Describe
like
that smell
power.
to me. What is like free bleeding period blood in the air?
No, so Northampton just
I'm
smells
sure it
like
smells like a
really
fucking
strongly of
bummer.
copper.
Like a
Like it's really, really, and also it's like just kind of like shitty. But like not in like
Patchouli and
not,
period blood.
yeah, but not in like a like shitty rundown kind of way. It's just like you go there and you're just like, this sucks. It's not like Gary, Indiana or anything.
What's that town that's like a woman's name that's like really really shitty? In Massachusetts.
Brockhampton?
No,
That's a woman's name.
woman's name.
Charlotte or Shelby or
Charlottesville?
no,
There's
Charlottesville?
Shelby.
Chelsea.
There's
Chelsea.
Chelsea's in New York, bro.
No,
It's a borough in New York.
There's probably
Are you
other
because
Chelseas.
there's well, Salem's really up.
no.
Actually, just walk around. We'll have Smeth.
You're
walk
just
around
saying
Salem
city
and ask
names. You're not
people if
really
they've
meeting the
picked up
requirements.
Jesus.
What
Salem's a girl's
is the
name.
girl's name? Girl's name
Salem
in
is
Massachusetts.
Salem is a man's name. You're thinking of the Salem witch trials. That was feminine coded, but Salem is a man's name.
Didn't actually happen in Salem, by the way.
Yeah, no, it actually happened in New Salem. But that doesn't stop Salem from making all the tour money. Actually, wait, that's another thing we could do. Just have Smeth walk around and like ask people if like they think they were justified or not.
Why do you guys want to see Smith walk around and bother?
Because we're making comedy here.
I haven't said shit. Why are you looping me in on this?
Yeah,
I'm not coming up with nothing.
because you're in here. You're in here too. Who's talking?
Here's what
I've learned.
You're in here, Tuna.
I want the lower half of Smeth's body hanging outside of a bush with a needle sticking out of his thigh while a child goes around. There's a ukulele music playing and he pulls it out with a little dinosaur grabby toy. And everybody's going, and it's like, we're cleaning. Hey, we're helping the homeless. That's the skit that
I'm gonna put that as like a prompt in mid journey and see what comes.
I've got Smith for malt liquor store sommelier.
It would be really cool
I
if
don't
you
I
typed
don't
that in
know
and it produced
I don't
Smeth.
I don't know what to feel right now. I feel like by like allowing you guys to do this, like I am like being narcissistic and I need to stop. I need to like
We
stop
love
whatever's
it.
going on here.
Why? You're gonna be our Sam Hyde. We'll be the Charles and Nick.
Oh, no,
I've
that's
learned
true.
one thing. I've learned one thing from this conversation, that everything good you can possibly put in your body comes out in your piss.
Well,
That's
yeah.
true.
Good. Were they just saying that estrogen comes out in your
Methamphetamine,
piss?
estrogen, caffeine,
Pretty sure that
heroin.
I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure that
Isn't
Game Boy
everything
Micro I
from
put in my body didn't come out of my piss. So
The what?
Water.
Game Boy
You put a
Micro.
Game Boy Micro up there too?
Two, I
Okay.
promise you, it wasn't the same.
Do you know those fish that swim into your urethra? Like, do you know that comes from a doctor? Like he was like a guy, there actually were fish found in cadavers' urethras because some doctor was, or I don't even know if it was cadavers. It might have been even living people. He was putting them in people's urethras so that he could get the evidence that these would swim into your urethra. So
A cool
people
guy.
actually, and this happened repeatedly. So I think it was a
There's a-
sex thing. I think he was just
there's a
enjoying it.
There's a fish that swims up a stream of piss. What does that remind me of, Sleepy?
I don't know.
Is it called
Reminds
back to
you
your
of-
previous joke about the fuck? Okay, never mind. You don't even want to play. You don't even want to play a game.
Wait,
You're talking
it
about
reminds me of
intersex
tuna.
like a
That's
fish.
what it reminds me of. It reminds
Oh,
me
Not
of
yes,
me.
tuna
tuna's
and
some-
the 4th of July.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm the
I have a
fish.
question for the people who are on like the binary spectrum or experience with this. Can you take women's birth control if you're a guy and you kind of want to like transition?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
but it's a bad idea.
I don't
yeah,
know.
I would,
I'm non-binary, but I don't
it's
care about
definitely
none of
not-
that.
It's definitely not recommended because it's estradiol and progesterone mixed together. And it's also like a really high dose. So if like you're taking it to transition, like that's like a one-way trip to like Blood Clot City.
I don't understand
And
that,
depression.
to be honest.
You can do a lot of like half-baked things that like will fuck you up. Like for a week I took chastberry, which is like which would block your it's a anti-androgen. And
Mhm.
just doing that means like you're just like fucking up your hormones entirely. Like just doing like so it just made me like really depressed.
So I
Called
don't.
Chasteberry?
It's in like women's like health like shit, but you can just get raspberry. Monks used to take it to like like make it so they're not horny at all.
Like the 3 times in my life that I had testosterone, I did not like it. How do you people deal with being violent and angry all the time?
So I don't.
Jerking off
I don't
violently.
understand
Made that
this.
Raping
you
people.
lying bitch.
To me, being non-binary means like I don't have any association with gender. I don't care about it. I don't want it. I couldn't imagine trying to take something to change my features because of that. It's just irrelevant to me. So maybe non-binary. It seems like a lot of people talk about it in a different way than me. So maybe I don't understand it, and maybe I have the wrong word.
Yes, so what if someone is non-binary but thinks they have to kind of like have more androgynous features and to like
It sounds
Yeah.
like they still care about gender though. Like me, I
Non-
could not
Yeah,
care
I
about
know
it
somebody
at
who's
all.
non-binary and
well, they
like
care about not looking like they're associated with a
well here's
That's called a
what I don't
That's
get.
caring.
I like here's what
That's
I
a
don't get is like
narcissist.
I
They
know
want to be
people
like
who
an individual.
is there
There's-
what, a narcissist?
there's
a
like
narcissist. I'm
Oh,
not like
narcissist.
other girls.
Thought you were
or
talking about
boys.
another gender identity.
well
I
here's the
think that
thing there's
fashion is narcissism. Yeah.
there are people who are non-binary who are on HRT and it's like you realize that's gonna like skew the scales like very far in one way unless if you're like bald and weird looking.
No, I just mean that you're. To me, it means that like I just don't associate or think of myself or think about anything that I do in terms of like gender at all. It doesn't impede or encourage me to do anything that I do. So if I were to take any kind of hormones, it seems like I have a very specific kind of gendered presentation that I desire, and therefore I'm caring about it. And that's just like the exact opposite of how I feel about gender.
I don't know, but people are going to see you and they're going to associate you with a particular gender. So if you say if you're identifying as non-binary, I would think it'd be completely in line to want to take the measures to make
Yeah,
yourself.
but what does it mean to
No,
identify?
Nobody's gonna
That
look at
means
somebody and assume they're non-binary, though. They're gonna assume
Right, they're gonna assume you're a man.
no
These two
matter who
different
you
things-
are.
Well,
there
you
are
can
two
make
different
yourself.
types
You can. There are people who are a little more.
Yeah, but they don't assume that you're
Exactly.
non-binary. They just get confused.
Yes.
Nobody cares. Eldrazi doesn't care how people see him. That's
Yes.
his entire thing.
Yeah.
There are two different types of people. There are people that are gender fucked. They want to look fucking creepy weird. And then there are people that don't care and they have one word and it's fucking retarded.
Wait, you're
I
either
mean,
gender
I'm
fucked
completely fine with the
or-
fact that I have been like technically taking estrogen since like 2015, and I'm permanently stuck looking like a 16-year-old like kid that listens to AFI.
I have no
No,
idea what that
okay.
looks like.
There are two different types of people.
Just imagine
that
like
get
an
shoved
emo
into
kid
the
from
idea.
like
I'm going to try and say this
2009.
the gentle way.
No.
There are two different types of people. Eldrazi's on one end, the ambivalence to caring a lot about how people see you. For all identities, that spectrum exists is an additional factor. You can be like really, really obsessed with, not only do I not feel gender, I feel the negative image of gender, and I want that to be, that's like your usually that's a female non-binary person that is like, I want to get rid of femininity, this like forced upon aesthetic. A lot of males, because being male is really just about not putting effort into your appearance.
Yeah, but that's
sorry.
kind of what makes
There's
them
a
hot.
fucking race war at the White Castle right now. They're storming the gates. I'm just kidding. There is conflict happening though. This motherfucker with this car is like blocking multiple lanes.
Well,
Wait,
you're driving.
Oh my God. Luna, I bet if you went to the Waffle House right now, we could have some premium stream content.
Oh my
I
God.
will become an IRL streamer that streams exclusively Waffle House fights. I'm ready. But it's going to take 50 subscriptions to Smeth's channel right now.
Wow.
Wait,
Snap, you
I
got
just thought of
some
another skit. Wait,
orders.
I just thought of another skit. Oh, what we do is we take Smeth and we put him in a referee uniform, and it's just a Waffle House fight referee.
You know for a fact that that's just ripping off my bum fight skit.
You had me at Take
don't
Smeth.
load.
I'm getting tired,
Matt, where
guys.
do you find all these hype people?
Or wait, we could have Drazi be the
I wore a
Waffle
fucking
House fight
tank
referee.
top. That's what happened. Okay, I wore a
I'm
tank
sorry. Well,
top.
I was about to go
And then Reservoir was like Reservoir is not Reservoir, right?
Jenny, thank you very much.
He was
for
like, I'm the
subscribing
fucking
again. I
tank top
appreciate you a
guy, and so
lot.
he had to fucking come on. And
I don't know how any of
and
this occurred. It just
I don't know.
happened.
Then Sleepy was like, Sleepy kept swapping chats because between me and Elder Drazi, because whoever would give Sleepy the most attention, and then Sarah, I don't know why you copped on. Why I don't know why you just wanted to have fun. I guess you're doing your homework over there. And then as soon as like you came on, then we got like fucking Tuna Chip. I don't know what's going on there, but
Me and Tuna both want attention.
I don't like
Matt.
the way you characterize me coming on. I mean, I think you should be more excited.
I am excited. Cool.
Mhm.
Me and Tuna both want attention. Why not?
That's not true. I came here to tell Smith that he's being retarded when he's saying that the weak need protected. The weak need to get stronger or go extinct.
Wait, did I ever tell
Yeah,
you
but
my
it's the
plan
same
for,
thing. It's the
like-
same thing. The weak need a model or mode to protect themselves, or they need to be empowered to protect themselves. They like so being stronger is the same as they need to be protected.
Give me
Smith,
a gun. Buy
did
a
you ever
gun.
hear Tuna's plan to help America's
gun.
homeless?
I didn't know that was a. Hang on, I have a subscription message. Is it Existential Crisis Night? And if so, why did nobody invite Jenny Burns? That was from Jenny Burns.
Good job.
That went over my
Good
head.
job, Jenny.
It said no one invite
mean-
me, but I didn't see who it was first.
Wow,
Wait,
that's
realize it was
flirting.
subscription
Rude.
message.
You're in front of a
Crisis again?
lady.
In front of a lady, yeah, ladies don't burp. They
They
I'm
shit
not
their
you know,
saying
pants.
burp. I'm saying
If-
don't burp in my presence. It's rude.
if you don't fart, did you know that your body absorbs it and you makes your whole body stinkier?
It actually
Yep.
goes into your bloodstream and up into your brain, and that's where you get
We're
all these
gonna
shitty
run
ideas
a
we've been
controlled
hearing.
study on this meth and see.
I actually feel one coming on right now.
Is there someone there to help sniff?
A
sniff you?
fart.
I'm always worried that my mic's gonna pick it up when I fart on stream. Sometimes
I've
I
never
realize
farted
that.
on stream.
I'm always
that ever
I have
happened,
never
I
farted
swear
on.
to God, I would
I
die.
have not. Never mind. I changed my mind. I cannot say that sentence anymore.
I'm always worried that the lapel mic I shove up my ass so that people can hear my farts will get shot out, and then the second fart won't be heard. No one relates to that one? No one relates
Dangerous
to that one?
territory.
You gotta clip it onto the polyp so it doesn't come off.
The
No.
what?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like when I was a full-time streamer, like when I thought like all of this actually mattered and that like content creation or something was like a viable career option, and that like in all actuality it wasn't just like a massive waste of time, and like my artistic pursuits can be done like literally anywhere else, including the back of a napkin.
They said on stream.
Because having a channel with like sub 500 subscribers is like
Hey,
literally like living in a graveyard.
Back before I went on other people's streams as a surrogate
Well, then-
activity for my own ambitions.
Before
that.
Dude, well then it sounds like you need to get more than 500 subscribers, Sleepy.
No, now I just edit for Wicked Supreme. Are you kidding me?
If that's like
Cool.
living in a graveyard, what's the equivalent of coming onto somebody else's stream?
I don't know. It's Smeth's stream, so it doesn't count.
It's like you're doing an exorcism in like someone else's graveyard.
It's like Pet Cemetery. I'm coming here to bury my hopes and dreams, and they're gonna come back as a monster.
HIV.
I am getting tired.
It's gonna come back as Tuna's like weird clone that likes to piss on people.
Well, I'll assist you on that, Smith. I gotta get going. I have some stuff I have to do. This went longer than I thought, but also, Smith, I just want to say, to put a cap on it, I really liked the video. I think you did a fantastic job. I hope that some of your future videos have this kind of like TLC in it. It was a nice treat to see like a offline edited video come to fruition. It's been a long time since anybody's put anything out like that I watch. So thank you for that, and thanks for framing and characterizing the things in the report in a way that people can actually get without spending 5 years reading the report.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, Smeth, it was a really good video. It was really artistic. If you have any questions when it comes to like audio editing and stuff, because you said you used Audacity, let me know and I'll like spend a night just going through like random shit in Audition, because it's honestly way better than Audacity.
Well, the reason I used Audacity was because Adobe has basically.
All right, that's it for me. You can go over to Smeth's stream if you want to keep watching that. It was a bit much. But I got to use the restroom and do some other stuff, so I got to get out of here. Thanks for stopping by.